Let me just make sure I'm on. Sorry. I could see Thomas in the background laughing. I could see him laughing. So I don't want him to. Sorry. So I can see my guest in the background. I'm not going crazy. I am here. I'm just seeing my guest in the background. So just bear with me. Sorry. Let me just make sure people have logged in. I got my questions ready. And once people start logging in, then I'll start talking. Yeah. Stop smiling. No. You're in the background, Dennis. You're not yet in the studio. Dennis, you're not yet in the studio, so I can't hear you at the moment. I think only you can hear me or see me. Yeah, so at the moment you're not on yet. I just want to quickly say thank you for this hair. I've put the person who's done this hair. So this hair came all the way from Zambia, and it's from Kondwani Sarah, as you can see on my feed. So thank you so much for the hair. I love it. And I think you'll see it more when I take my photos with my celebrity photographer for my birthday. So I can't wait. This lipstick as well, I want to say thank you to Chiso, because this lipstick is from her. So the lipstick I'm wearing, Chiso gave me that lipstick. So just sit in the background for a bit. I just want to wait for more guests to join in. So once people have joined in, then I'll start. A few people are joining in, and I can see comments. Where are the comments today? Okay. Yeah, okay. So Happy New Year, everyone. So hope you're all well and you're blessed. It's a new year, 2021. Okay, I know there's a lot going on in the world with the COVID-19, and a lot of people are like panicking and everything. But, you know, on the bright side, I think we should all learn to count our little blessings we have. You know, like for me, some of us, we still have our jobs, we have a family, you know, we put food on our table, and I'm grateful. And at the same time, I'm making sure I take care of myself and my family. I'm not out there playing about and walking on the streets and doing things we shouldn't be doing. So I'll start bringing my guests in. So hopefully that will make people, I can see people are joining in, but I can't see them on here today. I'm using an iMac today, so maybe that's why. Today I'm using iMac, so I can't see, but I can see on my phone, but I can't see it here. So I'll start bringing my guests in one by one, and I'll make them introduce themselves to say who they are, so you can get to know them, and then I'll start asking them questions as we go. So my first guest I'll bring on is Dennis. You've met Dennis before. He's like full supporter with everything I do. He's the reason the business chat with Maria started. It started all with Dennis. He pushed me in the background. Do it. And eventually we started it. So Dennis is really my supporter. He motivated me, inspired me. And Business Chat with Maria is here. It's been born. So I won't introduce him more than this. So I'll bring him on now and introduce himself. Hi, Cuz. What's up?
Hey, you right? Are we live now?
Can you hear me?
Are we live now?
We're live. Yes, we're live. We are live. So don't do anything silly.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dennis Nkosi Njobvu. I'm based in West London, Northwood. I'm 34 years of age. Originally, my background's from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and South Africa.
Damn.
Professionally, right? So professionally, I'll first talk about my profession first. So professionally, I run 2 recruitment companies. The first one, which is my first love, is called Design for You Recruitment. Now, this company specializes in recruitment, executive search recruitment within the architectural, design, and BIM space, predominantly in the United Kingdom. My second business, which I started about 2 months ago now, is called Care for You Recruitment, which specializes in supplying care staff to adults living with long-term physical disabilities in the West London area predominantly. Apart from that, I'm also part of a charity, or two charities. The first one's called the first one's called Ignite. Now Ignite specialize in working with youth between the ages of 11 to 25, helping them to re-engage with education, build employment, business startups, and move away from antisocial behavior, as well as gang involvement and exploitative relationships.
Right.
In this charity, I'm actually a trustee and I'm a youth advocate in this charity. Secondly, now I'm also part of one of the biggest charities of stroke survivors, called Stroke Association. Um, Now, if for those who do not know, I'm actually a stroke survivor myself. That's why I'm part of the stroke charity. So I had a stroke three years ago now, which left me paralyzed down the left side of my body. But as you can see, I'm slowly recovering.
Oh, yes.
Um, yes, that's pretty much it from my side.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Dennis, for coming on. And thank you for always supporting and for always, pushing me in the background. I know people don't know that, but actually, you and me were always like exchanging messages, asking questions. Did I write the right thing on Facebook? Is this right? Can you change it? So thank you so much for supporting me, and happy new year to
Yeah.
you. And the next guest I'm going to bring on is Nawa. I'll let him introduce himself. This guy, he's got so much talent, but he hides it. He hides his talent. But I get the privilege of enjoying his talent. So I'm hoping in his introduction, he will actually say who he is and what he does, so you can really get to know him the way I know him. Proper talented. He's got an amazing voice. The guy is just. Let me just bring Nawa on, and you can see who he is. Let him introduce himself. Hi, Nawa. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How's it going? So my name is Nawa Nambula. That's me. Originally from Zambia. I live in the UK, and I try to visit Zambia every year, which is like that's my home. Professionally, I'm a soldier. On the basic level, I'd say I'm a soldier, but what I'm a combat human resource specialist. So I work in a sort of IT department. And
You're what? Sorry,
combat human resource specialist.
combat human resource specialist. Okay.
So the combat side. So I'm a human. So basically I'm a soldier, but I'm a soldier who's specialized in IT and human resource. So the combat side of the role is the fact that I'm a military guy. I'm a soldier, so I'm trained soldier.
Sorry, can I ask you, how do the two go together in terms of HR and a soldier?
Every soldier gets paid. Every soldier has to be recruited. Every soldier has to have all the administration done. So that side of things like when you got communications on the IT side of things, we set all that up. So on the combat side, as a soldier, we have to be able to work in a deployed kind of environment. We should be able to work. So we work in camp when we're on base. Then we also work when we are out deployed. So we do soldiering, but at the same time we're doing our specialist work. Yeah, so basically that's the combat side. So combat human resource specialist. And apart from that, I do my own a few things that I do on my own. There's quite a few things I do, but I do voiceovers. So I'm a voiceover artist, and also a music producer. At the same time, I also do video editing and all the media stuff. That pretty much I can sort of push myself into anything that you can mention. I'll try and sort of find a way of getting myself to.
Awesome.
So so basically that's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
And you know what? It's not actually even saying as much. this, I'm not just saying it because it's live now and we're together. He is so talented. Like, seriously. The guy can sing. Okay. He can sing as well, like really sing.
Well,
Pure.
I can sing. Yeah, I can definitely
And
sing.
he
So
helped me with last year's independence. He did the voice for the independence. He's helped me edit some videos. So, watch out for Nawa. Trust me, watch out for him. He's a hidden gem, but I'm digging him out.
yeah, I know you've been pushing. You've been pushing. That's really good. Yeah, it's
But
really good.
yes, he's really tired. And when he does the voiceover, you wouldn't even think it's the same person who's done the work. You'd actually, who's that? he's really good. And I've known you for some time. How many? I've known you nearly 8 years. No, 9 years now.
Yes. We met in a very interesting way on the plane, and it was it was because the people that you were supposed to travel with missed their flight, so I had to be the one to help you out because Tyrese gave you some troubles. So I was like,
yeah. And
from Maria, why did you miss your flight?
No, it wasn't me. No.
Oh.
Someone was traveling with Mr. Flight, and because I had the baby, not a lot of people wanted to sit with someone with the baby. And Tyrese, he was at that time was first time flying, and now I came along on the plane, and trust me, he made everything like I slept, man. I slept.
She slept the whole time.
I slept the whole time. Let's make it that way. And since then, we've never lost contact.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, my sister said, yes, such a gentleman. And for real, you are such a gentleman. Even when we arrived in Zambia, you helped me, you made sure I was in the taxi, you made sure I was okay. So, no, thank you so much, seriously. I always remember.
Good man now, huh?
I always remember.
You're a good man now, huh?
Yeah, so the next guest I'm going to bring, Thomas, I've met through Dennis. He actually even came to the Zambia independence last year. And you're going to know more about him when it comes to my birthday in March, but introduce himself today so you can get to know him more so that when it comes to March on my birthday, you understand, okay? So with no further ado, let me bring Thomas on. Hi, Thomas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone on the platform listening to us. Hello, Nawa. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Maria.
Hi.
I remember the last time we were here, we couldn't finish it because time wasn't on our side, and I'm so glad that.
But today, the lockdown is on. We go all day.
Brilliant. So I'm glad that this has been put together once again, for us to share our experience. The many people listening to us. Hey, my name is Thomas Zibet. I'm half Ghanaian, half German. I'm a photographer by profession. I started off with celebrity photography, so I used to go to the red carpet to meet celebrities, so doing shows, premieres, and this is way back in years ago. I mean, 2005, 6, 7. That's when I picked up the camera, and today, some of my pictures has been in the newspapers and magazines around the world. So you've got Now Magazine, who published some of my pictures. Newspapers like Daily Mail and things like that publish some of my pictures. Wow. Today, I've moved more into domestic stuff. What I mean is, and commercial stuff, I do mostly weddings. And then I do, with this COVID-19 since it started, I think one of the markets I've got into is more like individual birthdays. So I have things like Maria said, she's about to have a birthday and she'll call me up to do some photo shoot with her. And that's what I've been doing lately. It's quite lucrative. People are going for it. I've got family members who will call me because I don't wish this bad on anyone, but people, we have to be realistic with ourselves. With this corona going, people are losing their lives. And so one of the things that I'm getting introduced to is people want to take last minute pictures. I'm not saying this to anyone. I wish everyone good, and I wish no one passes away from anyone's family. I'm a true Christian. I believe in my faith, and I know that if you believe in God, things are possible. All right, so coming back to my profession. So I go to people's homes now and I take pictures, of course, with precautions. I don't just go in there. Yeah, so I do mostly professional photography. Also, I'm an entrepreneur. I train people. I used to do my own business, but now what I do with my accounting background and then my marketing experience, and I also do now. I do your job. I do quite a lot of editing as well. So video editing. I do marketing, I do advertisement, things like that. The ideas come
together. Work together.
Awesome.
That's it. That's it. So one thing I also do on the side is I help people with the money and they don't have the ideas to grow up as a business. So if you call me, we start from the ground. So you get taught how financial statements, how to read financial statements, how to do your bookkeeping, how to keep your books intact, and then make sure HMRC doesn't chase you for tax collection. Okay, so I have that idea and I help small businesses as well. And then because of my photography side of it, I also help with social media, things like that for your business. So you kind of get a whole package in one, basically. So you got money, you have no idea, come to me, and then we'll start from the scratch to the bottom. But mostly my profession is celebrity photography.
There's something I saw on your setup. So if I'm wrong, please, Thomas, correct me.
Go for
it. Changing kitchens, is that your business too?
Oh, that's something that's another business that I do on the side. So
I want to ask about it on here.
That's brilliant. So I wrap kitchens as well. Wrap cars. But I do kitchens as well.
You should check the kitchen wrap, guys. Actually, the way it does it's amazing. I was going to ask you, but I think I lost my when the picture came.
Right.
But when I was like, wow.
I'll send you a picture on WhatsApp, Maria.
Yeah, so you should really check it out. The kitchen wrap actually is amazing. He turns the kitchen from a garbage to a 5-star hotel looking kitchen.
Yeah.
With just wrapping. How he does it, I don't know, but it's quite good. I was impressed with that. So just before we really start, today's topic is more about what's your New Year's resolution, and with the COVID-19 happening, everything that's going in the world. Some people have been taking this COVID a bit lightly. Okay. Some of us, once we had with COVID, we're like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Full stop. There was no doubting. There was no taking it lightly, because it was like, well, if it's there, it must be there. No one can just say something there and, they're doing things. So I'm hoping that people watching are taking care of themselves, wearing their masks, washing their hands, and protecting their family and their friends. If you know you have symptoms, or you have you went to a place where someone is sick, please take caution by telling someone. Don't just go and say, well, I don't care, I don't have the symptoms, I'm fine today. You don't know that you could carry that and give it to somebody and make them sick. Like with me, I've just said, I'm not going anywhere unless I'm not doing it. Unless I'm buying food or it's a matter of life and death. Otherwise, it's not happening. Because I've got kids, I don't know how they'll take it if I get the illness. I've had a cold during the Christmas holidays. And I've taken care of it, making sure, if I don't know whether there's COVID, but let me just make sure I take care of it. So please, people watching, make sure you follow the instruction the government has given us. Okay? You may not be affected, but you might affect somebody. And life, you can't buy it. It's too precious. So to start with the question, I'll always start with Dennis Spence. And then we just go around the questions. So the first question is, I want to start with that question. Okay? Let's start with this question. How do you best connect with others? So with Dennis, I'll start with you with this question, because I know you know Thomas, but I don't know Nawa. So let's say if you don't know Nawa.
Right now, in terms of connecting to people, I believe it's always best to be who you are. Don't try and be somebody who you're not. I mean, with me, what you see is what you get, literally. Yeah. So I always try to be who I am, and I don't try and be anybody who I'm not. Sure. And I always respect people's beliefs and choices. I don't try and make anybody feel down or make anybody feel like they're not worth anything. I always put myself on the same level as everybody else.
Okay, I think that's a fair point. Now, what's your view on that one?
Yeah, I actually agree with Dennis. Just to add on to what he said, I always believe in speaking to people at a very personal point of view. So I'm a kind of person that can literally speak to anyone. I can approach. I've been through experiences where things have really been bad, and I've had experiences where things have been good. And through those experiences, I've sort of tried to find ways of relating to people. So regardless of what kind of a person I always look for that personal touch to just find out who the person is, what they're going through, and just share a little bit. Because what I believe is transparency begets transparency. If you can meet somebody at their personal point of level by sharing a few experiences, people you sort of can gain that trust, and people sort of open up as well and communicate with you. And so that's the kind of thing I believe in.
And I think that's a fair point said, especially like in this lockdown we're in. It's very important to really be that kind of person, because you don't know the person coming to you, what your reaction, how you respond can do to them. That's a very important one. And Thomas, can you add on to that?
Sure. Both Dennis and Nawa couldn't have said it any better. I think they've just said it all. I mean, it's about connecting with people. For me, I take most of my wisdom from the Bible. I'll put out there. And Dennis is one of my witnesses. I'm always chasing him to come to church on Sunday online.
Now he's just
So my wisdom mostly comes from the Bible and how Jesus lived his life. Jesus is, at the time, is the most powerful human being at the time. But you know what the guy did? He never said, I'm the boss. He never said, he wasn't condescending. Do you understand? What he did was, he even went as far as washing Peter's feet. And that should tell you how humble he is. And how, so for me, that's my connection with people, understanding people, being people's person. Even you can relate to people by how the problems that you go through. So it's just being at people's levels, and sometimes even going below people's levels to actually connect with them. And that's how I see, my way of connecting with people, and that's the way it works for me. So even as a business person, you can take this wisdom within yourself. You'll be surprised that
you know what I as well, yeah. Can I ask to say that somebody once told me to treat the cleaner as the CEO?
Yeah.
Seriously, do not ever look down on somebody.
Never look at it down on anybody. Like Sarah said, you train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself.
And as a leader, you have to go down to the people's level. If you want the people to love you, if you want the people to, if you look at Africa, for instance, they use this type of analogy where if you're a leader, for example, the presidents, they pretend to clean the gutters. So I don't know if you've seen pictures like that, where you see some leaders trying to clean the gutters. It's the same idea, the same Jesus idea, where you have to put yourself to the level of the people. And trust me, if you're a leader and you want to go far, take that direction. Do not condescend with people. Do not belittle people. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's just a matter of time.
Thomas, can I also say as well? Do you know what I've realized? When you do go down to people's levels, you actually begin to realize that we're all the same. We're all human beings.
100%. 100%.
Most definitely.
And that's exactly what Jesus did, and that's why Jesus won the hearts of many people.
Look, Jesus became poor for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So would you say, would that not depend on the person upbringing or who they are, or do you think that's a natural gift that people are born with? What would you say on that?
I think it's not a natural gift. I think it's wisdom. And wisdom, you're not born with wisdom. You gain wisdom as you grow up. You know what I mean? So, if you don't have that sort of wisdom at your level, then I'm sorry, you're losing out. You are losing out. Most rich people, look at Richard Branson. I always use him as an example. You would think this guy will be in a limousine. You would think the guy will be in a Ferrari, but you don't see this guy doing that. He will wear the same shoe for like a whole year. If you look at some of his videos, he wear the same shirt, things like that. This is a guy who is very rich and can do whatever he wants, but he doesn't. He actually brings himself. Humility is power. Pride is a fall. The wisdom from the Bible says it. The wisdom from the Bible says it all, that pride before a fall. If you're prideful, eventually you will fall. And if you have humility, eventually, God will raise you up. Even if you don't believe in God, it's a principle in our society that when you have humility, you get to climb up the ladder. And this is a wisdom I learned from the Bible. It helps me.
And just to ask, have you ever met somebody who you've seen is not acting sort of the way you are, and actually you advise them to do better? Or do you kind of just ignore?
Oh, so many times. I'm actually a leader in the church, and Dennis knows this. And I see this quite a lot. I mean, the world we live in is full of pride. Everyone wants to be someone's boss. No one wants to be someone's a little man, if you understand what I mean. You know, and whenever people feel cornered and feel like they're being belittled, this pride starts to kick in, and that's the problem we have in our society. Most marriages break down because of pride. You see, these two things, you choose whether you're prideful or you have humility. Humility will take you far. A lot of marriages, marriages go far because of humility. Having the will to say, "Oh, look, I'm sorry, my darling. Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Take you far." Rather than knowing to do the right thing, but you know that you don't want to do
no,
it.
you're laughing too much there.
And it's also all about respect, really. So for me, most of my wisdom comes from God. As much as you believe 100%, it works for me.
Yeah, no, Sequas agreed, respecting others is important. So now I think you're mostly a leader in your role, I think. If am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
Ever kind of sort of getting that where you actually say, no, can we do things this way because ABC?
Say it again.
You know, with what we said about how you treat others, you are always a leader in your role, in the government official role you do. Do you ever then teach some of your colleagues to be a better person, or do you kind of sort of say it's up to them to learn their own way?
I do actually teach. What I tend to do is speak to people at, as I said initially, at a more personal point of view. But what I then say is I find out how best they learn. And then I take that up and sort of communicate what I need to communicate to them in the way that they understand, because I believe in if you want to be influential, one part that you always need to have, one characteristic you always need to have is emotional intelligence. Understand the person that you're dealing with, and when you understand the person that you're dealing with, you know how to communicate. A lot of people sort of try and push things without understanding who they're communicating to, and what that ends up happening is they're not getting the results they're expecting. But if you communicate to the person, get to their points to their level, and understand how they learn, and you find ways of communicating. Leadership. I always follow what's his name, Max. His surname is gone, but he says something about. He's written
Max
a book. It says something about leadership. It says leadership is all about influence, and he breaks down influence as an acronym. It says I is for integrity. You have to have that integrity, and I hope I remember all of them. Influence. The N is nurturing. You have to nurture, empower your people, so that even when you're not there, you know that everything is going on all right. And how do you empower them? By obviously having faith, which comes to the next one, which is faith in your subordinates.
Yeah.
When you know how to communicate with them, you give them the tools. You've got faith in them that they can achieve this. That also then brings it to the next part, which is the L, listening, having that listening ear, listening to your subordinates, listening to them. And then when you listen to them, you then come to the next one, which is understanding. You understand them. And when you understand, you then have that emotional intelligence, which is the E, the emotional intelligence to be able to communicate very well and give them the tools. And what's the next one? Influence. What's the next one? The N. Influence. Yeah. The N is for navigating your subordinates through their issues. So you need to be able to navigate. So they give them the tools that they need, because you then comes to the next one, which is communication. So that communication gives you that ability to be able to know what to communicate to them, and because you're supposed to achieve a certain thing. So you've understood all these things. So when you're communicating to them, you're communicating in a way that they understand, and you can get the results that you're expecting. And the last one is just being exemplary, be an exemplary person, a good example of a good leader. So I take that as a principle that I always try to follow. And in my line of work, a lot of people have believed in you have to be able to, you have to be aggressive, you have to be shout, and things like that. I've never taken that approach. And then most of the people that I lead out, I get very good results, and people ask, so how do you do this? So what I've started doing is doing a few workshops with a few people, and just
sorry. Now I can ask you a question. Are you on the front line?
No. So I'm not on the front line. So I work in HR. So it's sort of it's background work. I would be, if I weren't on the front line, I would be the last person to be called, really. Yes, I'll be the last person to. But obviously, I'm trained to do that, and we have trainings every time to make sure that you're still up to date with all the training that you need in the line of work.
I hope you could share that information at the end. Hopefully, you find and share it, because I like that myself as well. I think it will teach a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you share that, please, I would really love to share that.
Will do.
Yeah, so the next question is, as you said, we are now in 2021. I know a lot of people don't believe in resolution, they don't believe in planning and preparing and things like that, because they feel like, oh, what's the point of doing it? I'm one of those, I'm completely opposite. I plan. Okay. I don't like to do things blindly or go into a new year without having visions or goals or something. Even if I don't achieve my goals this year, I know I went in the year with something to motivate me and keep me going. So this question just for, what are your biggest goal for 2021? You don't have to share too much if it's too personal, just to help people to think outside the box. Because I know a lot of people, I don't believe in resolution, they don't work. Less things like dieting, whatever.
Well, Mira, can I say something there? Yeah, I posted something on Facebook about 2 days ago regarding New Year's resolutions, and I said that motivation is not the key to sticking to New Year's resolutions. What you need is discipline.
Because so for you, then, what is your biggest goals? What are one or two biggest goals for 2021 for you? So how have you entered this year?
What, for me?
Yes, you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, right. So my large goal is to transition my recruitment business from a boutique into a corporate business.
Oh, okay.
What I mean by that is by having 50 employees on the sales floor.
Right.
So that is my goal for this year.
Okay, and how would you plan to achieve that work?
Well, what I'm going to do, what I'm doing is dividing, breaking my goals down into bite-sized chunks, because I know that I cannot really achieve getting to that level all at once. So if I break my goals into bite-sized chunks, they're more easily achievable.
Right. Okay. Noah or Thomas, who wants to jump in? What for you guys?
I think Noah seems like he wants to go first. So
you seem like you want to go first.
Calm down, guys.
Like for 2021.
Okay, all right, I'll go for it. I've come to the point, because I'm the sort of person that used to work 9 to 5 in the past, and I did it for 10 years.
Right.
There's nothing better than doing things your own way and making your own money.
I totally agree. Yeah.
And I've come to understand that. And for the last 2 years, it's been amazing. I make T-shirts at home. I got a little machine at home. I make T-shirts. Dennis knows this. I make T-shirts. So you want design on T-shirts? You want your own label? I can make T-shirts for you.
Right.
On the other side too, I do photography. Like I've been doing photography for a long time. So I do photography on the side. Now, where I'm moving towards this year is to expand on training people. So I've got clients who come to me and say, hey, I like the T-shirt. I want to do the T-shirt business. So like I said earlier, I like to help people with their own ideas, as well as me giving you an idea and you financially supporting it. Where I want to go with this is I want to be able to train as many as possible to be well independent of the grid. With the direction that we're going towards with this corona, it looks like life will never be the same. Let's be honest here, okay? Life is probably going to be tough than we know it, except for people like Noah, who's in the army, who, whether he works or not, he's probably going to get paid every day. So he has no problem. But people like myself, who work 9 to 5 in the office before, a time might come, because I'm a qualified accountant, and what I realized recently was some of these accounting stuff, they are making a software with it. So they've got softwares like was it QuickBooks that can do all your accounting for you and present your tax. And so, eventually my profession might be obsolete. Okay. Now, what I want to tell people, I want to train people to be independent of themselves, do your own, make your own money and things like that, and that's the direction I want to go now. So, I'm training people to have their own t-shirt companies. I mean, as I speak to you tomorrow, I've got to be with a client who I've advised to buy these sort of set of machines that I bought it. So they need a full training. So I'm going to be there the whole day tomorrow, train them from start to finish, how to make the designs and everything. And also photography as well. I'm offering training this year. I started that last year and people are jumping on it. So I got classes where people join. And instead of going to a college to do photography, which will take you sometimes 6 months or a year, I'll give you everything you need, equip you with everything you need, tell you exactly what you need, the best suppliers, how to look for the best suppliers, and to deal with, best how to look for clients. And this will happen within maximum 2 weeks for you to start business straight away. I will help you to register your business from a company house. I will help you how to even do your own tax returns rather than having to pay £400 a month for an accountant to do for you. Do you know what I mean? These things are available here for people to come in. And like I said, if you want to do photography, I'll make you a professional photographer in 2 weeks. If you want to have a t-shirt business, as soon as you buy the equipment I ask you to, 1 week later, you're producing your own brand, everything. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about having to start from scratch and maybe looking on YouTube, and sometimes it take you up to a year to actually organize yourself. I'm giving you 2 weeks maximum to be well organized and starting your business. And that's the direction I'm going. But I will say this, and I always say this, as a strong Christian, I couldn't do this but only to thank God first. He is the Alpha and Omega and do this. And I learned it the spiritual way, where he says, seek him first. Okay, seek the kingdom first, and everything else will come after. And that's what I'm doing. I always seek him first for the last 2 years. And I've been brilliant. Everything else I touch seems to be working for me. So this year, I want to extend that sort of blessings to everybody else. If you want to be trained as a photographer, if you want to have your own business, or if you have an idea and you don't know how to go on about it, it's just a matter of picking up the phone call and calling my number. So yeah, this year, I hope everything goes well with everybody. Dreams.
So in simple, I could say you trying to bring, what's the word? What the one we're talking about? Dennis saying mainstream of income. What was that thing we talked about?
Oh, it's a multiple source of income, isn't it?
That's it. That's what you're trying to do. I could think trying to do something like that.
Yeah, people, and then, people are mistakenly, and they're thinking about multiple source of income is about buying and selling. You see, it works for some people, but there's nothing like being your own profession, knowing exactly like a handy job that you do. I think the world that we go into, it's not about certificate anymore. I feel like you have to have a handy job, something that you're good at, something that you love to do that will make you money. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the direction that I advise everyone to take.
Yeah. So just before you speak now, sorry, I just want to show off. This is my dad, by the way. Like, this is my dad. This comment is mine. Like, so when I see that, I get excited.
So.
No, because when you see your dad supporting you, really I don't know. I want to cry now. But anyway, let's keep it. Because I'm crying.
You want some tissue?
Here is my sister. She's saying our identities come from relationships we create our lives and family, but without them, we're nothing. So for her, this year, her goal is to love who she truly is and get closer to God, because His grace passes all understanding. So Thomas, Dennis, Nawa, I know you as Christian people. Not saying I'm not a Christian. I am a Christian, but I know that you three, what's the word to use without sounding more like I'm not a Christian? You know more your Bible than I do, bestly. And that's what I mean. I know more the common ones, the ones which are popular. You know what I mean? So I think I'll connect you to my sister, and you could kind of communicate with her, because like she said, she want to get close to God and get to know herself. She's starting a business as well, which is the Sarah cleaning, I think Sakala cleaning business in Reading as well.
Oh,
Yeah, so but I'll definitely make you be in touch with her.
yes.
Yeah, so now, sorry, so I wanted just to make sure, because I know you guys are definitely Christians. I've known you, Thomas, I've known you recently, but I can see how committed and devoted you are. Now I've known Ariel, he's proper, he stays, he does everything. Dennis as well now, we, like I said, we speak on it. Yeah, he tells me, oh, cuz, read this passage, we share things, So I know, like, for you, it's not something to take lightly. It's something, when you're talking about it, it's something people should understand. You mean it. You're not just saying it because we're live.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yes, indeed.
Kind of sort of tell people, oh, no, you guys are, what you see is what you get. So that's why I wanted just to share that. Yeah.
Nice.
And so now, please, in terms of this, what are your biggest goals?
It's my turn now.
Yeah, it could be work.
It's a good thing that Thomas and Dennis started first, because there's some things that I've picked up from what they're saying that I was going to say. But I'll start first of all from a personal point of view. So I entered because I heard the question when you asked is, how did you enter 2021 and all that, and what are your goals for 2021? So I entered 2021. I didn't spend Christmas with my family. I missed my boy's birthday, and I'm going to miss my twins' birthday. So one of my biggest goals, like my first goal, is to spend time with the family, with the kids when I get back. And if you know me, if you see me on Facebook, you see how much I play around with my kids.
He's a big kid. He's a big kid himself.
I'm a big kid. Yeah, so I miss that when I speak to them. You can tell that they miss that part. So I just want to spend some time with being a father. On a more professional point of view, in my kind of work, there are certain things that I put in place. Obviously, every so amount of years, you sort of progress, and I've been put in a place where I've had to do quite a few things, and people have seen what I can do. So I'm in a good place to get to the next level. So that's one of my goals, and hopefully achieve that this year. But my own stuff that I do now, I do quite a lot of things. I've done. I play piano. I sing, as they say. I've done a few. I've got a YouTube channel. If you go on my YouTube channel, there's dances there. People look at me and say, "Can you even dance?" At some point, Mary even said you should be a choreographer. But so I've done all those things. But the one thing
I'm telling you, he can dance. Like, seriously. No, seriously. That's what I'm saying. I get to see all this by myself. I tell him, share it to the world. You've got
So one thing, I had to sit down and put quite a lot of things that I do, and what do I really want to do? So like one thing I really want to do now is sort of grow my voiceover brand, because I've got a passion in the voiceovers and things like that. And what I've tried to do is still to bring it out. I'm not very good at bringing out things that I do. And people tend to just see them every now and then, oh, you can actually do that. And yeah, I've done that before. But I'm trying to get things out there a bit more. And so on the voiceover side, I've made quite a few, because I'm registered with an agency, which when companies want voiceovers, they'll communicate and they'll look at for voiceovers, and then they'll communicate with me, we want a voiceover for this, then I'll do a voiceover and send it off to them. They use it for their company, and so I've made quite a bit with that. But I want to grow that brand, the voiceover brand, because at some point I want to be able to do trailers for movies. And I was trying to communicate actually with some guys in the productions back home in Zambia. And I was just trying to get them to see what I can do. Sometimes when you try and tell somebody I can do this,
they don't.
They're not really. They're not really. They're like, yeah, you can do it, but unless you actually give them samples, you show them what you do, that's when they start learning it. I'm putting my stuff out there and creating profile, which brings me to the part that then Thomas said, he helps people grow their brand, and one of my interests as well is photography. So I'm into photography, but I'm not a professional photographer. So that's another thing that I can kind of do. So hearing all this, I'm like, these are the people I need to talk to.
I can't wait to work with you, Noah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Honestly, I love helping. Yeah, 100%.
And it's what like the people you surround yourself with. And today, this afternoon, I had a chat with my sister Edith, and we're talking about it. You have to mind the people who are around you. You gotta
That's very important.
You and support you. You know,
I mean, as you said, iron sharpens iron, right?
That's it. Iron sharpeneth iron. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then like in this, just hearing you guys say, yes, I work with you, and like with you now, like I said, I know people might think Maria just talking. I'm always like, come on, share your stuff, man. You're good. But it's always like, okay, Maria. I'm like, no, seriously. How do I make the world see how great you are? Because I know you are. I can see it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to hear that actually this 2021 is something you put to say, you know what? I'm going to do this. And we're here. We're here to support you. We're here, you know, to be able to. So now this one, with what Noah said, he's got so many things he wants to do. So if you are given money today, someone gave you money today to start a business with no strings attached, what's the one thing you'd want to start today? Because I know you've got these goals. Thomas, you've got so many things. You would accounting, there's photography, there's this, Dennis, you've got these as well. What is the one thing that you would want to do now? No strings attached.
Should I go or now?
No, you can start,
please.
Right. So for me, I'd probably reinvest money into both my businesses. But I would say I want to reinvest money into my care business, because I've become very, very passionate about helping people who have physical disabilities, because I've obviously walked the path. So right. I'll reinvest money into growing my care agency to an international audience. Because one thing I've realized recently is that
sorry, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
No.
Yeah, so one thing I've recently realized is that the access that we have to healthcare, a lot of other people in other countries do not have the same access as we do. Trust me. Because I spoke to a guy in India who his wife had a stroke 2 years ago, and she's received no sort of healthcare whatsoever because she could not afford it. And do you know what? Things like that really, really touched my heart seriously. So I would really focus on growing my care agency to expand internationally.
Right. And then I know you said you're doing it because you walked a path. I know, please do excuse me. If you didn't walk the path, would you have started this business?
That's a very fun question, actually, because most probably not. I'll be honest with you. I reached a point where I thought to myself, okay, I've had a stroke. What can I do about this? So I thought to myself, well, I've got 11 years recruitment experience and I've got 3 years stroke experience. Let me combine the two.
Okay.
So if I never had a stroke, no, I don't think I would have done it. To be honest with you, no. But now that I've walked the path, I know exactly how it feels. So I can very easily relate with people who are going through it.
Right. Okay. It's something you can relate, and you know the kind of.
I know the challenges they face, and because I speak to so many stroke survivors all around the world, I've heard so many different stories, and I can really, really relate with them. Honestly, it's a very hard and painful journey, man. And a lot of these people, all they really need is just the right care and the right physiotherapy. That's all they really need. But unfortunately, they can't afford it, or they have good access to the right healthcare systems.
Yeah. So from what you're saying,
so
in the UK, do you feel you've had more?
I feel that in the UK, I feel that in the UK we are truly blessed because look, we have the NHS system. I mean, you can always get healthcare with NHS, regardless. Even though we sometimes have very long waiting lists, we can always get the right treatment that we need. Whereas in some other countries, especially in third world countries, unfortunately, they do not have the same access to healthcare as we do.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so that's the main reason why I've gone into care recruitment.
Okay. No, totally understand. Thomas, what's your you are jack of all trades as well. You're jack of all trades. You can do anything basically.
I get called that quite a lot.
You can do everything. So if money was not a thing, what is the one thing you would start? Would you be more on the helping people to start businesses, or would you now be just focusing on one niche and then growing that niche? What would be the one thing?
Okay, so for me, when you said that, I think I get bored easily just doing one thing. So I wouldn't do just one thing.
All right.
I enjoy doing
Thomas, can I ask you something? Yeah, you said you get bored doing one thing. Yeah, would you get bored with one wife?
Well, with my faith, I appreciate. I'll stick with it.
Of course,
because I want to go to heaven so badly.
But stick to one wife, eh?
Yeah, just one wife. Just the obedience is fine. I think the whole idea of having more than one wife is all a mind game. You know what I mean? When the world gets into you so much, all these things, you start to think about too many things, many women. And then we've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. You know that.
No, I've had this discussion with you guys. We need to come bring it back here.
It's very dangerous. So yeah, I wouldn't want to put myself there. That's one thing I will never do. But yeah, coming back to your question, Maria, if I had the money to do something, I think I'll still continue the path, only to expand it. I like to see people grow. You see, where I am today and the gift that I have, I can only say thank you to God. And I couldn't keep it within myself. I like to share. So if I had the money, then I will expand it and share it. I'm that sort of person that, okay, if I set up a business with you, and I think that's the whole idea coming. I'd rather own 10% of the business, and I move on to the next person. And we set up a business, I own 10% of the business. I think that's the whole thing. If I had money, that's the direction I'm going. But I think the whole motive behind it is to actually give people a helping hand. I get happy. I think more about my emotional happiness than physical. So having to help someone and someone saying thank you to me, it's like priceless for me.
I get you. It makes sense because I think as well it's because you know your strength. Or for you, do you just feel because as if you know your strength and you know what you're capable of doing, like you say, you can get bored is because you want to always learn and train or teach people because you know your strength. And like you said,
so Maria, can I also add there as well? Yeah, I told you at the start I'm also part of a trustee in a Christian youth charity. So I think I'd also invest money into the youth charity as well to help young people get out of gang involvement and help them get back into work and all that. So I think I'd also really think about investing money into the youth since they are our future anyways. So I'd think about really investing money into the youth.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I also have a very deep passion for working with the youth because I've been there. I was young as well, and I was actually really naughty when I was young. I was always getting in trouble with the police. I was very naughty when I was young, so I really get where they're coming from. They can't find jobs, they're chasing girls, they're chasing money, doing the wrong thing. So I'd really want to help youth get out of that sinful life, I'll call it.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Maria, I do apologize. But I was just reading something that Sarah just sent on the platform, and it's amazing. It's exactly how I think. It's exactly how I think, how Sarah just put on. The gift is not ours to keep. It's for us to share. I'll tell you a story. And not story, I'll tell you something about the Jewish community. You know what they do? They don't go outside their community for help. They all have a unique
it's all within the community, right?
Yeah, they all have a unique things that they have, and they help each other. So you never see a Jewish man get up in the morning and say, hey, let me go fix my own car. No, he knows he cannot do it, but he can find somebody, a Jewish man, around the
You know
corner.
what, Thomas here? Thomas, can I say, you saying that here? I recently read a book actually called The 10 Commandments or something by a Jewish rabbi, and he said that within the Jewish community, everybody specializes in something.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, they all specialize in something. So the book is written by I can't remember, is a rabbi.
Yeah, it's a rabbi. I've seen that book, and you know that where that come from. It's a quotation in I think it's who's in the Bible? It's I'm trying to I think is it Jacob or something like that. He blessed his 12 kids, and they call it the 12 tribes of the Jewish, the Israelites.
Yeah,
so
and they each had their own special.
They each had their own specialist. Okay, this is why I was saying that wisdom comes from the Bible. They all have their own speciality. So what they did is they shared their own speciality among themselves. So if you, Maria, you are a mechanic, for example, and I'm a photographer. If I need my car fixed, I'm not going to be sitting in my house trying to fix my own car.
And or do you know what, Thomas? Yeah, do you know what, Tom? I think that's the only way as well. As a black community, we'll build a community by
100%.
By having everything within our own community.
Within us, so, and sharing within us.
If you need a lawyer, we should have a lawyer in our community.
That's
if
it.
you need a doctor, we should have our
That's
own
what
doctor.
the Jewish people do. That's what the Jewish people do.
Dentist, we should have our own dentist. If you need a recruiter,
and the idea,
we have our own recruiters.
Yeah. And the idea comes from the Bible, which is when Jacob blessed his kids. I think I'm saying the name correctly. I think it's Jacob.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and he blessed his 12 kids, and they had different talents, and that's where they got their business idea from. And that's why the Jewish community are very powerful in our society. They're the richest people. They're the richest people on the planet.
For that reason, and you know what, Maria? That's the only way I think we can build a black community by everybody specializing within one area and not going outside of our community to seek that service or product.
That's right. That's right.
And do you remember, Dennis, when we started the business chat with Maria?
Yeah.
That was the whole purpose of it. To say, let people know who within our community does what.
Yeah, literally,
so
exactly. Yeah.
Mend and share. So like now, I know Thomas is a photographer. He does kitchen wrapping, t-shirt, whatever. Dennis does. I know. I can recommend you.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can recommend me. So in our community, then what do you think stops that or prevents that from happening? Because what you've explained about the Jewish, I love that.
You know what I think?
I think
the biggest issue we have as a people of color is lack of belief within ourselves. We don't believe that, say, Thomas can take better photographs than I don't know, Turkish guy.
Is it due to lack of seeing Thomas' work, or is it because lack of trust for me telling them Thomas can do the work? What is it?
You know, I think it's down to.
I think it's more like greed, isn't it?
I personally think down to lack of. I think it's personally down to lack of trust and lack of belief. We do not believe each other enough.
I think also is one is jealousy and greed. Okay?
Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, jealousy and greed.
In our black community, we hate to see people progress, and that's a fact, and we all know this about this.
Yeah. Right? So for example, rather than me giving my money to Thomas for him to go and buy a new house, I'd rather go and give my money to Mr. Patel.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we haven't seen it or they haven't seen the evidence. I find like so. We need to talk about this Jewish. I like it. Seriously, I really like it. So it's a topic we need to expand on it. So
and also, Maria, sorry, can I just jump in quickly in terms of the Jewish thing? Another thing they pick from the Bible, and I'm going to say it because I want to see there's something about me I like to share. I know these things and it works and it's been working for me, and I like to share. Okay, there's one thing also they realize is there's a story in the Bible about Elisha, when Elisha went to a lady a widow lady that had a son, had a kid, okay, and the lady rushed up to Elisha and said to Elisha, he said to Elisha, he believed in Elisha, as a sent from God. But what the woman did was she went to Elisha and said, "Hey, my husband died. I don't have any money. I have nothing. I'm broke. I got kids. They can't eat." And what Elisha said to the lady was, "What do you have in your house?" And the lady said, "I got a little bottle of oil in my house." So what Elisha said to the lady is, "Go bring the bottle and get me empty cans." So what Elisha did was he blessed the oil and told the woman, "Go back in your room and start filling that little bottle of oil into the big bottles." So what will happen is when the lady filled out the bottles, all the cans became full, and the woman started, was, I think probably in the Bible, she was the first entrepreneur that ever came up. So she sold quite a lot of oil, made a lot of money, and things like that. I think the whole analogy I'm trying to give you here and everybody watching me now is every single one of us have that anointed oil in us. Do you get it? So, Maria, you have that oil within you. And Dennis, you have that oil within yourself. Okay, that's how the story come about. So, if you're able to tap that oil within yourself, you can flourish before you know it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can flourish because when we say oil, when the Bible describes oil or anointed oil, what it actually means is, what do we know about anointed oil to be? It's the chemicals from God, anointed, wisdom and everything in the oil. So if you're able to tap the oil like the woman did, you'll be able to flourish.
I'm back.
The Jewish community takes that story as well to their heart, and they practice it. That when you see somebody sitting down and they behaving like I'm in a dark place, it's all devilish. Listen, get out there, do something. There's an oil in you. Pray over it. Get out there and do something, and you'll be surprised. It may start. The problem also with our Black community is, and I've seen a lot of Black businesses fail. You know why? When they start business, they expect profit straight away. It doesn't work like that. You see, the why man start a business, they actually make provision for losses for the first year. Do you understand? They make provisions for losses for the first year because on the first year there wouldn't be much revenue coming in.
Yeah.
You should be expecting more losses because you're going to be traveling. That's how you're going to build the foundation of the business. So when a white man starts a business or a Jewish man starts a business, he makes provision for the first year as a loss.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is HMRC, which is Her Majesty's revenue and whatever they call it, the people that collect the taxes, provision for the first year as a loss.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is HMRC, someone is playing in the background. Majesty's muted. All right. Sorry, I was just hearing myself again. So yeah. So what I'm saying, I think the whole greeting I'm trying to say is we all have oil in us. Let's tap into it. Let's try. The one man does it, and like I said, the first year they make provisions for the loss. If we don't make provisions for loss, and the Black community, I see this all the time. When I visit small businesses and they are failing, I see that one thing. The one thing is they try to make a profit. They start the beginning that they start the business. You see, it doesn't work like that. Take into account you're going to spend a lot of money trying to get a business up. And like I was saying, HMRC, they noticed this problem. So you know what HMRC does? Your first year of loss, you are allowed to carry forward to the next year. Do you understand? And it's a good thing because if you make loss, you don't pay corporate tax, right?
Exactly.
So that's what it is. The more profit you make, the more corporate tax you pay. So HMRC is aware of this 1 year loss. So they actually ask businesses to carry their losses to the following year. So yeah, let's be aware of what's going on. Let's learn. Let's teach ourselves. Let's be prepared for it, and let's go for it. I think that's my idea, and I hope everyone, realizes it's an oil inside you. Touch it, and you'll be surprised.
And you saying that the all have the oil. I know we'll just cut it off quickly, but how do you help someone to tap that or to know that oil can multiply it and make it something?
I'm going to tell you now. I mentioned earlier on about how to get to people's levels and how to get to know people, get to know people's potentials. People even have potential without them knowing. Do you understand what I'm saying? People have, when you get to know people, you realize that they're very good at something. And that something is actually a DNA God actually put into you before you were even born.
Yeah.
It's not about your PhD. Those things are worldly stuff. Me, I'm a Christian. I'll say yes, yes. Those things are worldly stuff. There's nothing wrong with getting that. There's nothing wrong with being a doctor. There's nothing wrong with being that. But when you look within yourself, okay, you will realize that there's something that you're very good at. And if you apply that and you invest your time and money into it, you realize that you will flourish. You will flourish. You will flourish. I will put this out there. Maybe this is something that we can talk about in the future. when you go to business, and even in the Bible describes it. And I'll tell you, the Jewish people use this as well. They call something called temperaments. I don't know if anyone heard this before.
Yeah,
human temperaments. Okay, so there are 4 different human temperaments, and it's in the Bible. The Jewish people use it. When you can identify someone with their temperament, you can work with them. Okay, so I'll give you one temperament that I work with a lot. There are people called cholerics. Cholerics are people who if they want to get something done, they get it done.
They go get us.
You know, now, if something comes in between them, they'll get rid of anything. Even as a wife, they'll get rid of you just to get that one thing done. And these are people you can hire to lead the company. There are people called sanguines. Sanguines are the people who are like more jovial. They are more talkative. They know how to talk to people. These are people you put them towards sales. Do you understand? So when you know about these temperaments, you can work with it. You can make your business flourish. You don't just hire anyone. You know what I mean? You hire them based on their ability. And their ability is the temperament that I'm just talking about. Once I know that, Maria, you're very good at talking, I'll put you on sales. I'm not going to put you on leading. And I'm not saying that that's something you're good at.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis, you look like a choleric. You like to get stuff done, business minded. That's a choleric. When I hire Dennis, I want Dennis to lead a department. I want Dennis to lead a project. You see, that's the sort of person I see in Dennis. You know, Nawa, yes, you have your own one. If I hire you, I know where to put you. So once I identify your temperament. So this is how, as a business, you have to work. And this is how white people, and I'll say it that way. My dad is white, by the way. I'm mixed race. So I'm allowed to say white. I'm allowed to say white people. You know, I mean, this is what they use in their business. And this is why they're successful. You see, we black people, we're just following the crowd. We don't even know how the Virgin guy got to where he is today. We just feel like, oh, I want to have a business, and we just go, not listening to nothing. We just go invest money into something, and we make a loss, and we don't know what's happening. We start blaming even our grandmoms that they are witches and wizards. Do you know what I mean? But we should learn about these things. They're very important.
And this is what Nawar said earlier on about the influence word. It's kind of linked with this one.
Yes, yes. You know, because what Nawar said is, once you get to know somebody, you get to know their abilities.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly what Nawar said. Get to their level, get to know them. Once you know the temperament from my side, you can use them to benefit themselves and yourselves in the business. It's as simple as that. Don't waste your time.
And it's those things we don't know, and we just think, oh, those are lucky.
We just think business is business. Once you register a business and you put some money into it, you expect profit. No, if you want profit, you know, this is the things you need to look for. And like when it comes to my entrepreneurship and teaching people and training people, I also teach these things. So you can identify potential people that you can work with to grow your business.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I know you'd come off a bit, and the topic was this one here. So I don't know if you heard a bit or from where you've come on. Do you want to add on to what we were just talking?
I think they've said everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to go out with somebody. I needed to attend to some issues going on there. So
yeah.
So I apologize for going away, but
no, that's no worries. Like my sister says, everyone carries a seed of greatness in them. All we have to do is discover and know how to use it.
Absolutely, absolutely, that's correct.
Yeah, and I even like me myself as Maria, I've been there where I said, "What is my gift?" I must have a gift, and I discovered my gift.
Find
and I
out.
found other many gifts, and I was like, "Yeah, my gift."
Surprise, you know.
Yeah, and I think it's important that people understand those gifts. And even Sarah said, God has always wanted us to live an abundant life on earth. We are all anointed, just need to allow God to show us how.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
It seems like Sarah is very savvy in the Bible. I love that. And Sarah, like you said, if you want to get to know God more, trust me, I'm a leader of my church. Every Sunday, Saturday, you know, I don't do anything on Sundays. I'll tell you the truth. My Sundays are for God, and nothing can change my mind about Sundays. And if you ask Dennis, he will tell you, I'm up 24/7. He sometimes texts me 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you even sleep? Do you ever sleep? You know, I don't joke. I feel like, and I understand when the Bible says that seek the kingdom first and everything else will be added unto you. It's absolutely true. And ever since I started worshiping God and doing work for God, I've seen it happening. So it is true. Let's get onto it. You know, let's build something within us. The oil is within us. Let's get it out. Find out what you're good at and work on it.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you want to add on, or should we go to the next questions?
We can go to the next question.
Okay, so the next question is, what do you want your legacy to be? I know it's a question like, oh, Maria, why did you not ask me the other questions? But because of what we've talked about, hence I'm asking this question. So who will go, gentlemen, who will go first?
I don't mind. I think Nawa wants to go now.
No, just in case someone comes at the door.
Okay, I'm gonna go because I think I'm just gonna jump in quickly. My legacy here is I've come from a world where Dennis knows me a lot. We've known each other for a very long time. We used to party hard together, Dennis. You know, and all that. And I'm not going to go into details, but when I say we used to party,
I know. Don't worry. I know. Dennis, I know what you mean exactly.
Yeah, you know, we used to party a lot. And for me to look back at my life and look at my life today, you know, I want somebody to look at me and say, "Hey, man, if that guy can change, that's the legacy I want."
Right. Okay. Oh, I like that. I do like that. Yeah, it's a simple.
Simple as that. I mean, you know, we can change based on how people do their things. A lot of people out there are so confused. You know what I mean? And if you look up to somebody that's made their life a bit better, look, why not? Why don't you ask about how they did it? And you can do it as well. You know, I got a friend that when I used to do paparazzi, I used to go Mayfair, we used to chase celebrities. You know what the guy used to do? He used to walk up to the rich people that were driving the Ferraris, and he used to ask them, "Hey, what did you do? How did you drive a Ferrari?" You know, one day, just one day, his luck shined. The man that was driving a Ferrari said it wasn't a Ferrari. I think it was one of these Mercedes wagons. What do you call it? The 4x4, the new ones.
The new ones, yeah, the bad ones.
The ones, yeah. So he asked them, and his luck shined. You know what the guy did? The guy is actually a broker in Canary Wharf. So he does like these financial market stuff. And the guy just wheeled him into it, and he taught him how to do it. And look, the guy was earning £10,000 every month.
Wow.
So you see how people's lives can change, and based on how people are doing stuff. So I want to leave that sort of legacy where people can count on me and say, you know what, I know this guy, the way he changed and the way he is. I like to take that same step and be like that. That's a sort of legacy.
I like that. That's I like simple but effective. Now what?
Yeah, my legacy. I just want people to say he was a humble guy, but he did things that have helped me be a better person and closer to God. Because there are things that I've learned from the people that I've grown up with, people that I've looked up to, and I can talk about them now because of the things that they did before that sort of made me the person that I am now. And there's I got a message once from a friend from school, and I couldn't remember this. No, I remembered the person because it's a long time that we spoke, but the thing that he said is what I, even up to now, I don't remember doing it, but he says what I did changed his life. So he said, there's a point, we're in boarding school, and there's a point that they were going to play basketball at an inter-school basketball, and I had this fancy Tommy Hilfiger shoes,
right?
And everybody that came, oh, can I borrow your shoes? I'll just grab my shoes and give them. And then some other people were like, why do you do that? You can't be giving your best shoe to that. I was like, it's just a shoe. And there's a point where he said he was struggling. He was obviously coming from a family struggling quite a bit. I had 3 pairs of shoes in school. I got my favorite pair of shoes and gave it to him.
Wow.
And he says I don't remember. I didn't get the shoes, but I don't remember that. But he always says that you gave me a pair of shoes, and that made me change who I am. And that just gave me a warm fuzzy feeling that I did something good. I did something good. I don't even remember what it was, but it's just a good feeling to know you can do something good for someone, and later on in life they can come back and look back and say, what you did for me has made me the person I am. I remember we went down to when we were in Kenya, spent about 3 months in Kenya. and we were doing these projects with orphanages in Kenya. And I've got a passion for orphans because I was an orphan myself. So I always want to do stuff for orphans. So we went to this orphanage and we bought some food. We were giving them food and things like that. And there was one kid there that was, he was dumped and he was HIV positive. But I've looked after this kid so well. And then he looked at my watch and he's like, I want that watch. And I told him, I can't give you this watch, but I'll buy you a watch. We left. It was, I think, 6 months after. Then I traveled to Zambia. On my way back, I stopped in Kenya for two nights because I wanted to go to that orphanage and see how they were going. So I bought a brand new watch for this boy, and I gave it to him. This boy started tearing up, but just that feeling of doing something good for someone, I think that's what my passion is, and that's the kind of legacy I want to leave. Because when I struggled, there were people that did something for me, and I look back and says, God bless these people in my life for a reason, and let me be a reason for someone to have a better life.
Yeah. And it's like you. I mean, we've always remembered each other from that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It was that moment. Oh my God, that's now.
So I'll tell you what. Here's what happened. There's a common friend called Brian, and he was doing this project where he was doing an independence musical thing. So we went to record in London, and he called a lot of people. So we were there and we were singing, and I saw her. I kind of forgot her face. I was like, this face looks familiar, and she was looking at me as though she looks familiar, but I didn't ask. And then I said, after we did the whole recording, I says, your face looks familiar. That was a few years after the I was like, your face looks familiar. It says, your face looks familiar. And I was like, I just can't remember what it meant. And I was like, did you ever travel to Zambia with the child on the bus? I was like, oh, yes, that's you.
Yeah. And that's how it was, seriously. It was one of those moments where it's like, I know him, but how do I know him? And the woman said, you're the one who helped him on the plane. And I always remember that, seriously. And every time I look at those photos, his face always comes to mind, every time.
Yeah.
Because what he did that day, he made me sleep. Imagine first time on the plane with the child who's never traveled. It was a nightmare.
Well,
but the journey.
Me and Tyrese had fun. Now, unfortunately, I don't think he would remember, but
no, I always remind him. Funny enough, I always remind him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do remind him.
That's good.
Yeah. No, so serious on you, that part I do. So Dennis, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that my legacy is probably in line with.
Yeah, your legacy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Right. So yeah, I think my legacy is probably in line with what Thomas and Noah just said. I personally believe that I'm called to be a destiny helper in life. So I'm really passionate about helping people reach their goals, helping young people reach their goals, and really putting people on the right path in life. Because you know what, yeah, a lot of people are really going in the wrong direction in life, and people just need guidance. Seriously, a lot of people are living without fathers in their lives. People just really need guidance in their lives. So I want to be known as that guy who saved lives. You know, who created many leaders.
Yeah.
I really want to be known as that guy.
And you are that, guy. You know, you are that guy.
And the thing is, yeah, you know what, yeah, I don't expect anything back in return. I genuinely have a passion for helping people. You know, it's something which I'm genuinely passionate about, and I've always been passionate about it.
Yeah. No, I know, Thomas, I've spoken to you a few times, and you know, you three gentlemen here with me, and this is from my heart. You are those people who've done you've done so many things for me that no one knows about it. But every time you do it, like with Noah, trust me, anything I need editing, I'm like, no, edit this, please, hurry up. No, make me this, please. No, seriously. And you know what? He does it without any. There's no condition.
No expectation in return. Yeah.
That's what I mean. And for me, that's something I always look. I said, wow, that's amazing. And if you can't tell me I can't do it now, I'm busy, I'll do it all. they're there, like they advise and guide, and I sit there, I'm like, wow, am I blessed or what? And hence sometimes I push them as I'm like, come on, show the world what you are. Show the world the gift you have, because I can see it. I'm like with Dennis, every day we sit, we ask questions. He talks to me about business. Thomas, you started now. Maria, I'm live on, go on live. I'm coming your way as well. You know. So no, thank you so much just for that. But I think like we take these little things for granted. So who or what has changed your life? Because this related to what I've just about legacy. So
right.
who or what has changed your life? Dennis, go first, please.
Right. So I personally think that I've had different influences at different stages in my life. I feel that now in the past 5 years, what has really changed my life.
Talk, Dennis. Sorry, I'm here. I'm just in the background. You talk.
Right. I feel that in the last 5 years, what has really changed my life is God. Give my life to God. That's what has really changed my life, I'd say. That's
100%. Yeah.
Honestly speaking, but I do feel though, at different stages in my life, I have had different influences. I feel when I was 20 years old, I would say maybe me having the right friends changed my life. But in the last 5 years, I'll put down to God and Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. You couldn't have said it any better, Dennis. You couldn't have said it any better. And with Maria not being here, I'll probably say I'll go next. Are you okay with that, Nawa?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, like I said, me and Dennis will go way back. The chilling days, we used to go out, chill out. And I think we haven't met in the longest possible time. We met again when we all started getting to know God. And it's amazing. It's amazing how far God has brought Dennis and how far God has brought me. And for me, if it wasn't for that, I probably don't know what would have been today. I think for me, knowing it's not just going to church, okay? And this is what some people need to learn.
All about the relationship.
Yeah, it's not just going to church. It's about participating and practice what Jesus wants you to do. And to me, what I learned, like I said, my business ideas comes from the Bible. The wisdom I have about business comes from the Bible. So, that has changed my life. I'm really enjoying it. If you don't want to be a prisoner of the world, well, I mean, is getting up. And I don't mean this to anybody in an insult in any way. If you do feel like that, then I do apologize. But it can't be termed as a mental state of prison when you have to get up 6 o'clock in the morning, go to work, and having to get home 8 p.m. The funny thing is, you might think you're making a lot of money, but let's look around in the Black community. One of the reasons why the kids fail, the kids are failing, is because both parents are not around. Both parents are so indulged in making money, and the greediness. The 10th commandment is broken. Covetous and being greedy is already being, and when you break the 10th commandment, it always comes with the consequences. So when you go through being greedy and trying to get as much money as you want, as the world tells you, well, you with the consequences you're having is you're having your kids paying attention to a crazy guy in school, okay, a crazy friend in school, and not paying attention to their parents. I saw. Yeah, go on, Maria.
I know you're saying about in the Black parents, some kids suffer due to parents' greediness. Do you think it's greediness, or do you think it's the society in terms of the work that allows them to do that without they have no option? Some of them. Oh,
I think the first. Let's listen. We are Africans on this platform, right? We're all Africans. You might hold a British passport, but you're not. You're an African. I'm sorry to say this. We're all Africans. The reason why your dad or your son,
Maria is like, I'm not.
Okay, fine, Maria, you're not, but I'm sure your parents.
No, I was just joking.
I think what I'm trying to say is the reason for us to even come to the UK is based on the fact that we have to better ourselves physically, right, financially, right. So that it alone is a type of greediness. It's a type of being converted. And if you have time, read about it. So the fact that we actually wanted to come to UK so badly because we wanted to have a certain financial status. Sorry?
Did you say that's a greediness?
It is, because you have to be content with yourself. As a Christian, I have to be content with my one shoe. And if I'm not content with my shoe and then I want 10 shoes, 10 stack of shoes, and mostly we buy these things because we want to satisfy people around us, satisfy
you know what, Thomas, I really agree. You know, we buy these things here to impress people who don't even like us.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, today, Dennis, I was saying this, I think I said this to you before. You see, when you come to men, we will sleep in a cardboard box outside if you let us. We only buy houses and cars mostly because of women. And that's a fact.
Literally,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
I'm the only woman here, so I can't argue this argument now.
Yes, but you see, the men are quiet because they know what I'm saying is true. And if you ask a lot of men, about 9 out of 10 men will agree with what I'm trying to say to you. You know, and that's the thing. You see, one way or the other, we all greedy. And I'm not saying I'm holy. One way or the other, we're greedy. The fact that you think about buying the latest car to show off to your friends that you're at a certain level is a type of covetousness. And it's a 10th commandment. Yeah.
You see,
so if you want to,
Sis Christine is laughing, so I don't know whether she's laughing on the comment that you men can sleep in a cardboard box and you only buy houses and nice cars for women. So one, I think.
You see, Maria, in the black community, we see with men. If you give men a chance, they'll buy alloy wheels and put under toasters if you let them. See, this is how crazy our black community is. We like to show off. I mean, I see, you know, people like to buy the latest glasses just to look cool, just to be accepted in a society. It's a covetousness. You see, when most is under when most is,
as well.
Let me say, when most
you know why I want to understand that part? Because when I know majority of the black community, I could be wrong. Please, you know, so don't take this offense. It's just the people that I know. They work in sectors which allow them to do this night shift, day shift, 12-hour shift, whatever shift. So when you say it's greediness, would you then say that they should say no to those jobs just to stay home with their children? That's all I want to understand that part. Because I found that the word greediness a little bit.
I mean, if you went into the job and the contract says 12 hours, you have no choice. You see, that it's all about the heart. There's a reason why the Bible says, guard your heart, okay? All right, because whatever comes from it could be life, could be mean life or death. There's a reason why the Bible says that. And in reality, okay, let's put the Bible on the side. In reality, it is true, all right? It is true that if you go to work and your mind is like, oh, I need to make more money because I want to buy that Range Rover. You know,
not all parents necessarily go to work to buy Range Rovers.
I'm coming back, Maria. Sorry, I'm coming back to what you were saying earlier. That working 12 hours doesn't necessarily mean that you're being covetous, but it's the mindset behind it. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's why I referred you to the Bible. That the Bible says we should guard our heart. Do you know what I mean? So guarding your heart meaning. What actually are you thinking? Are you thinking of buying the latest clothes, the Nike dress, just to impress your next door neighbor, that girl? Do you know what I mean? Are you doing that extra shift because you're dying to take the girl to the shard because you feel like if you take her to the shard, she will love you. You take her to the shard, she will love you. You see, that mentality shouldn't happen. If you have a woman that you have to take her to the shard, then I'm sorry, you have to run away.
No. That I understand because even I tell even my male friend that no, you shouldn't do that. It shouldn't be like that. I'm a woman. I don't do things like that. No, a person should like you for who you are, not because of whatever. Yes, it's nice to get spoiled, but it shouldn't be the main goal.
But Maria, I like what you're saying, but is that the reality though? No, it's not. I think I would say you're saying I think what you're saying is good to say that we will all like
school working in school eye perspective. Maybe that could be the reason because I'm saying from working school from that eye perspective.
Every man here, every man here and every man watching will possibly agree with me if they had a woman that does not love them for who they are and not for what they are.
Can I say, Thomas, I totally agree with you. Do you know what? Yeah, the one thing, unfortunately, which I've learned late in life, is that a woman should love you for you, not loving you because of what you can give them or what you can do for them. Seriously,
No, that one as a woman, I agree with you, gentlemen, as well. Like a woman, a person, a human being should love another human being for who they are, not because necessity.
Yeah.
You
for
need
the
to love someone's
material
soul,
things.
not
That's what we
because.
hope for. I mean, that's what we hope for, but that's not what the reality is on the ground.
Yeah,
Well, the reality. Well, I think the reality is that most people have been poisoned in the Western world. So
Yes.
a lot of women want the finer things in life. What they see on Instagram, what they see on Facebook.
Only women or men? Because men are doing it too.
Well, yeah, both.
I think women make men do that, and it stems away from the Bible, Adam and Eve. I'm sorry, and no offense to anybody. I mean, you, Maria, I might meet you, and you probably not necessarily might think that you want these certain things, but because of how the world portrays itself, I feel the need to want to go to the gym and have that to impress you. Do you know what I mean? So that in itself it's not what we have to be content with what we have.
So what do you say to this? What do you say to Sarah's comment, where it says everyone in the right mind? So I think we shouldn't judge others on what the right for them.
I wasn't judging. Sorry, I wasn't judging. I think what I was trying to do is I'm trying to teach. As a leader of my church, I feel like the anointing allows me to teach people what's good and bad. I'm not judging everyone at all. I'm just trying to teach.
And then we have Sean who says, I would like to say that nothing is wrong with making loads of money if you have responsibility to match that, like looking after your family and community. Do you agree with that?
Yes, do you know what? I agree with what Sean just said. I mean, look, if you're giving back to your community, especially, and even your own family, there's absolutely nothing wrong with making billions or trillions of pounds.
And I agree with Dennis, and that's why I said earlier that the mindset.
It's the mindset.
It's the mindset. You can work how many hours you want. You can make as much money as you want. But what is the motive behind it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you working so much that you can impress the woman so she doesn't leave you? You see, we need to be really careful what we actually mindset. If you're working hard and you're using the money to help the poor, I mean, that's what Jesus wanted us to do, right? Jesus said, Jesus, there was a story in the Bible where the rich man said, hey, I want to go to heaven. And Jesus made it clear that, you go out there and split your money with the poor. And the guy was like, oh, well, I can't do such a thing. And so Jesus said, it's very hard for the rich man to, it's easy for the camel to go through the
needle or something.
The needle than the rich man going to the heaven. And he made it clear. It's because the motive of the rich and the motive of the people who have is mostly negative. And that's what I'm trying to portray to us. If you have money and you can help the poor, I think Jesus loves it. So it's all about the mindset behind it.
No,
yeah, I wanted to say that I come from a different perspective. There's a part where you mentioned about the Black community. I'm the one guy that always says the more times you say about the negativity of someone, the more it attributes, because death and life is in the power of the tongue. When you keep saying you're always late, that person will always be late.
Yes.
That's why you can't tell the child you're down, you're this, and that, because it manifests, it becomes like that.
Yeah.
If we can change that narrative and start speaking positive about ourselves as Black people, because when we say greed, it's not necessarily just Black people, because they are wealthy white people. Would you classify them as greed? That's where I then come back to your point about intent. What's your intent?
What's the motive behind it?
What's the motive behind it?
Because
greed, because greed is defined as a selfish desire. So if there's that bit of a selfish desire of excessive, then that becomes. But then God blesses you. There's the kings and queens that we even know that God blessed. Lot was a very wealthy man. Abraham was a wealthy man. And that was God that was blessing them. So there's nothing wrong with wealth because he gave back to the community. But what's your intent for acquiring wealth? Which brings me back to the to the verse that says the love of money is the root of all evil. Sometimes people make mistakes and they say money is the root of all evil. No, it's the love of money. Because what does the love of money make you do? Covetousness. That's where greed comes in, because then you don't care about other people. But
other people,
but it's all about intent. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy, but it's what your intention.
That's nothing wrong. And when we started this conversation, I think was it Maria or somebody that said that when you in Christianity, or was one of the comments, it said, you know, as a Christian, if I own a mortgage, all right, or whatever talent I have, it's not just for me to keep. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's to help. So even when you look at in Acts chapter 1, for instance, you realize that even the disciples of Jesus Christ were rich people. They had houses. Okay, they had houses, but what you realize, the houses wasn't for them to keep. Houses were there for people. So even when the 5,000 people came to Jesus Christ, Jesus told the disciples, find a way for these people to eat. That's what it meant. You know, how you're going to find a way for these people to eat is up to you. So if you have to sell your house, sell your car to help the poor, and that's what Jesus expects from both of us. And it comes when it comes to reality. That's what you just explained now. Is the motive behind it. You know, if you can make as much money as you want, but if are you willing to help the poor? That's what we are expected to do. So if we don't do that, then we become selfish, and we tend to be in covetousness and greediness, and these things can lead us to be. I'll tell you, David in the Bible became covetous because he saw his army commander's wife. Okay, all right. He decided to sleep with her. Do you know what I mean? And when he did, that's covetousness because he already had a wife. Do you understand what I'm saying? But he saw that his commander's wife looked beautiful, and while the commander was out fighting for David, what David did was he went over and slept with a woman. You know, it could lead to a lot of things. What did it lead David to? It led David, the kid that they had with the baby died. See, that's the punishment. That's what I'm saying. There's consequences for every action that you do. So the baby died. I think through what David did and the plans he did, the soldier also died as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then David's reign started going downhill. You see what I'm saying? So yes, we shouldn't be covetous. We shouldn't be greedy. We should be content with what we have. All right. And if we have more, we should be ready to help the poor. I think that's what I'm trying to get at with the teaching. I'm not judging at all.
Oh,
Maria, I think you're.
Sorry, I think I muted because the kids were shouting in the background. No, I think it could everyone was seeing from a different perspective. Like I said, I was thinking from the teacher perspective, thinking, do those parents necessarily go to work because they want to be greedy or selfish and leave the kids at home, or do they do it as a necessity to put food on the table and give them clothes and stuff like that? But like you've now explained it, it's like what are the intentions of doing that? So it makes sense now, where I can say, oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. It's like, do I want to do it to look good or just to show off to my friends that, you know, go life or go Range Rover or, you know, so I on that part now. So to do, forgive me on that one. So in who is someone you really admire that motivates you that gets going? Because I know I have people
right. So
that motivates me and inspires me.
For me, I would say I admire one particular guy, and his name is Dennis Njovu. Honestly, that's who I admire.
Yourself, right? You're gonna be like Snoop Dogg now, just praising yourself, right?
No, seriously, like I'm proud of myself. I really love myself. I'm really proud of myself.
Oh, can I answer Sarah's what Sarah's just put on?
Repent. I think he meant repent, by the way. The word repeat means repent. So no, please, go on, please.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah, I just want to put this out there. Yes, you can call for repentance, right? And you can call for repentance. You can ask for forgiveness, but the consequences does not go away. Every action, that you take, a negative action, you get paid for it. And I know David asked for repentance, and God gave him repentance. But you see, the consequences of what David's action is why the baby died. It's why the soldier died. It's why David fell in the end. So David, in the end, still paid for it. You will still pay for it, but we've got to ask for repentance that we do not repeat what we did. That's what it is. So the fact that you ask for repentance, okay, God will forgive you, thinking that you will not do that again. But your actions, you will pay for it at some point. And that's what, as a Christian, that's what I've realized. Okay. So David paid for it in the end. Even though he asked for repentance, God still restored him as authority and gave him the anointing, but his actions, he still paid for it. When you look at few of the leaders in Samson and all that, it's the same thing. Your actions, you'll pay for it in the end, no matter what. You cheat on your wife, you cheat on your husband, and you repent, you're still going to pay for it at some point. you're not gonna go free. It doesn't work like that.
Actually, there's the what you say there about the soldier. That was a ripple effect that helped, because what David did was to try and cover up what he did.
That's it.
So
That's
he then says, the next battle, can you put that man in front line?
Yes,
So
he can be killed, right?
So he can be killed. So that was murder as well.
Yeah.
So
in the end, David did not commit just just that one commandment, which is being covetous and greedy. He also broke the law of murder, and I think there was another one that he broke as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, your actions will cause a ripple effect, like Noah said, in your life. You will pay for it in the end, one way or the other.
Mm.
Okay. So then who is someone you admire that motivates you and keeps you going? It could be many, it could be more than one.
Well, as for me, I said I motivate myself. And secondly, I would say back to God and Jesus Christ again. Now, in terms of motivational human beings, I've got quite a few actually.
Okay. Who's the first one?
Well, I think, Maria, you know him, Vusi Tembakwayo. He's a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
So number one would be,
I want to buy you a ticket to go and see him personally. I'll buy you a private jet.
yeah. So that's one of my main human beings I say would motivate me. And who else? And most recently, I've also been connected with a British businessman called James Khan. I'm not sure if anybody knows him here.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
He was so basically he started off
Dragon's Den, isn't it? Dragon's Den.
Yeah, so he was on Dragon's Den, but his original career was a recruitment consultant. So I speak to him on a regular basis. So I'll say him, number one. Well, yeah.
Cool. Who's next? Now Thomas.
Oh yeah, I'll speak next. The one person, a lot of people I admire. Actually, being on this call, all of you here, I admire you because of the amount of things that you've said here.
Wow.
You're in that place of people that I admire, because the things that you've mentioned that you've achieved is just amazing. But the one person that really stands out is somebody who's affected my life quite a lot, and that's my uncle. So when my parents died, I was only 15. When that happened, I still remember even now some of the things that some of the counsel that my father gave me. But my uncle decided to take me and my two brothers up, and looked after us just like his own. And anything we wanted, he was really he would readily provide. And to see where he was and where he developed to get to somebody who owned a massive company, but can still be able to be willing to help kids that were not necessarily his, they were his sister's kids, but he looked at us, took us to through education, and I'm who I am right now because of what he did. So he's like my one person that I admire quite a lot. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's is. I can relate to you, but this is not my moment.
Yo, you can share as well.
Well, I was brought up with my. When I tell people I'm blessed, they think I just say I'm blessed because of just different things. With me, I was brought up by my dad's. How many siblings? I think 9 siblings. All of them raised me up. That's how blessed I was, because my mom died when I was 3 years old, and my dad's siblings raised me up and my stepmother to be the woman I am. So those are people I look up to, my cousins, so I can relate to that, saying if it wasn't for them, some of us won't be where we are today.
That's true.
Yeah. So for me, when I tell people I'm blessed, I mean I am blessed. The journey I've gone to come here.
Sorry, can I also adding there as well, please? Another person who I really admire, who should have been number one, actually, my mother.
Oh yeah.
That's one person I totally forgot.
How can you forget your mother? She's supposed to be on the first list.
That's true, actually.
No, because you went too much about yourself. That's why I'm a Dennis.
Brilliant.
And Thomas, who is someone that you really admire?
It's not a someone. I think it's many people. But I'm going to sum it up as one. I believe as a Christian that people come into your life for a reason.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you and admire every single person, that's been in my life from the get-go. When I was in the children's home in Africa, you can imagine a children's home in Africa. I was in the same room with, now I said, same here with HIV kids, with disabled kids. We slept in the same room, the struggles. And I think that during this time, God was preparing me to make me a better person. So for me, apart from God, I think I admire everyone that I've met, everyone that I've seen, including you, Maria, Nawa, Dennis, amazing guy, everyone that I've met, including everyone, and obviously my mom is the top bit. She gave birth to me. My mom has been on my side through thick and thin. When I was depressed, she was there. She used to wake me up at 2:00 and ask me, Thomas, go and pray, and all these things. So amazing mother she's been. And like I said, I admire everyone that's been in my life. I feel like it was made for a reason, and I thank God for it.
Yeah. And I kind of sort of, I don't say everyone the path who comes in your life. I always tell people, everyone who comes, disagree with me if you want. I always say people come in your life for a reason, season, either to teach you, teach you. That's my belief.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes when I see a friendship finish, I say you had come in for a reason. Maybe that reason God has taken you away from me.
But what though? Yeah, I must say as well. Yeah, that
I don't know if you gents believe the same. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
But
no, absolutely, you're right. That, you're right.
I've come to realize that. Sorry.
You keep moving. The mic is doing.
Sorry, I'll say that I've come to realize recently that not everybody who comes into your life is meant to be in your life forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, if I could add to what Dennis is saying, absolutely
because
right.
You know what? Yeah, I remember like a few years ago, I'd always be holding on to some friendships and even relationships, thinking I'm going to be with them forever, not knowing they're only meant to be in my life for that season.
Yeah. Absolutely, you're right. You're right. So we shouldn't cry when they leave.
No, absolutely. They came in my life to bless me.
You have to learn to let go.
Make me wake up or make me see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then, when he or she was in my life, actually, I did this. Maybe that's what they came in for.
Yeah.
But people who they might think, they find that, maybe I'm too harsh. I'm like, no. I've already said the reason and purpose. It's enough.
Yeah. Okay. Can I jump in quickly, Maria?
Yeah.
We're talking about how people come in your life. Yeah, I think his battery went off. In James chapter 1, verse 17, it says, every good thing comes from above. Okay. So when we pray, we say to God, thank you for my car. Thank you for my job. Thank you for the good things you do for me. Thank you for the food. You see, my question here is, I think what I'm trying to get to is, what about the bad things that happen to you? Do you pray to God about them? Do you thank God for it?
For me,
do you thank God for it? See, the reason why for me, and when I pray and I'm thanking God, I thank Him for the bad things He puts me.
I feel like He did that because He knew my strength.
Oh yes. And some people, they got certain behavior that they need somebody in their life to correct them. Do you understand? So God has a way of putting people through certain things. So when I'll give you a story in Job. There's a story in the Bible, a guy called Job. He had all the money in the world. He was probably the richest person at that time. All right. His wife and kids, he had the cattle, the lands. And one day Satan tempted him. What Satan did was he went to God and said to God, I bet this guy, he doesn't even care about you. He pretends to worship you because you gave him all the money. So what God did was he allowed Satan to go tempt him. The temptation was his wife and kids all died. He lost all the wealth. All right. But you know what the guy did? He still got up and still thanked God. He still got up and worshiped God. And in the end, God restored his riches and wealth. So what I'm trying to do, sometimes you go through bad things, but don't sit there and think that that's the end of the world. Maybe God is putting you through something greater, and He's going to make you greater. You see, a lot of people give up at some point. Don't you do that? You have to have that spirit to, that going spirit to go for it. And in the end, you realize that God will restore you and make you the sort of person that you want. Never give up. You should never give up. When you're going through bad things, Maria, sorry, when you're going through bad things, right? You say to God, thank you for this. When you say thank you to God for the bad things you go through, you know what you're doing? You're actually glorifying God. You're actually saying to God, I know who you are. I trust your will. So you take care of it, and that's what you're trying to do. So you have to thank God for also the bad things you go through. It's a way of glorifying God and giving him the power in your life that He knows what He's doing. So you should take control.
Adding on, this is just a question for you before you go. So do you feel or think that, let's say, if going through something, do you think like God is aware of him as well, using you as an instrument to show to the world what he's capable of doing? Because for me, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that sometimes He will put you through certain situations for a reason. He does that for a reason. And you remember that.
Right, can I say, Thomas, here? So when I had my stroke here, my first reaction was, why me? But then after time has gone by, I'm starting to now realize that there was a reason behind it. And that reason, I may not know the full reason right now, but I'm starting to realize the reasons. So, yeah, sometimes God does put you through certain situations for a reason. Yes. And you know what, yeah? From the time I had the stroke here up until now, I've changed so much as a person. It's actually unbelievable. Sometimes when I think back on my old life, I think to myself, was that me? Seriously.
True.
Like, as a person, even my character, I've changed so much as a person. And I feel now that God had to allow that stroke to happen for me to change. Seriously. He had to allow it to happen.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And Dennis, you're right. It happens for a reason. That's why you thank Him for everything that He puts you through.
No, seriously, I do thank Him.
The devil cannot do anything to you unless he probably goes to God. And they did an example in the Bible where the devil couldn't have gone to Job and did anything unless he had asked permission from God. So when you worship God, the devil cannot try you until he asks permission from God. So God allows the devil to tempt you, to see your faith, to see how faithful you are. And a typical example in the Bible is Job's story.
So what if you're not a strong? What if you're not a strong candidate of that testing? How? No, I'm sorry, but
yeah, but then
Maria, can I tell you something? Yeah. If before I had my stroke, if somebody told me, Dennis, you're gonna have a stroke and you won't be able to walk for 6 months, I would have refused. But I discovered how strong I was whilst I was going through the recovery process.
Yes.
Honestly, I never in a million years did I ever think that I'll be I'll be in a wheelchair. Seriously, but it's whilst I was going through the process, I then discovered how strong I actually am.
Okay. Now.
Yeah. God will never put you through something that you cannot handle, because He knows you. He knows you. You may not know it, but He knows you that you can handle it. So He lets you go through that so you can know yourself. So it's also a journey of self-discovery. When you go through,
I definitely agree. I definitely agree.
When you go through this thing, so He knows it already, but He wants you to know.
And that's why it's self-discovery.
Yeah, because we have the will, isn't it? We have the will.
Yeah. Actually, the Bible actually says that anything you believe in Him will never happen to you unless He knows that you can go through it.
So repeat that, please. The Bible
says in Romans 10:11, it says, anyone who believes in Him will never be put to shame. But what that means is that if you believe in Him, you will not be put to shame, and He will not let you go through something that you cannot handle.
100%.
100%. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I like that. It's crazy. I've been through a lot. I know. For me, I've got living testimony to prove that strength. So for me, it's not a question of speaking on doubt. It's a question I've lived it and seen in my own eyes.
Yeah.
And I've reached it. I know when I was going through it, I was like, damn, I'm that strong. Shoot, I didn't know that. you know. But at first, yes, I was scared. I was scared, and I was like, what? But like I said, I had the right people around me as well who helped me understand my strength. Just say, no, that's your strength. That's how much you're capable of doing what what you're going through. And like with Dennis, I praise him. I said, Kaz, you're a soldier.
Like, do you know what? Honestly speaking, like all that I've been through, honestly, I never in a million years imagined I could go through it. Seriously, never in a million years. But it is what it is, and I'm here today.
Okay. But you're here today, and you're a living testimony to prove to people that God listens and exists and is there for us.
Listen, I'm 100%, 1,000% positive that God is there and He listens to us. I've got no doubt whatsoever.
No, He listens. Yeah, He listens.
I've got absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
When you say that, do you feel like those people who say God don't listen, do you think they're too impatient?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe it's impatience. I don't know. But for me personally, I've personally experienced the glory of God in my life. So I don't know. I can't really talk for anybody else. But I've personally experienced the glory of God in my life.
Okay. Can I jump in with a quick story, Maria, the impatience story? Okay, so I have a story in the Bible. I mean, these days, yeah, it's easier for people to give up stuff. You get stressed out and you're just like, oh, I've had enough of it. I walk it away. And sometimes by doing so, you miss quite great opportunities in your life. I'll give you an example. Let's look at Elijah's story. Okay, when Elisha followed Elijah, there were so many times along the way where Elijah told Elisha, can you just leave and go? But Elisha said to Elijah, I'm sorry, wherever you go and wherever you go, I'm following you. You know why? Because Elisha knew the end game. Elisha knew the anointing that was upon Elijah. He wanted that anointing from Elijah at all costs. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he would do anything to follow. So there were times where he could easily leave. He could easily just walk away. When you look at this life, there are times where a lot of fathers will move away because they get too stressed out with the relationship with their children. You see, they don't wait to the end of it. So by doing so, you miss quite a lot of opportunities. So coming back to the Elisha story, Elisha plowed on. It was days, years spent with Elijah. He went on a mission. Elijah was anointed. So in the end, you know what happened? In the end, when Elijah was taken to heaven, okay, he gave his powers, okay, ×2 to Elisha. Right. Do you know what I mean? He gave his powers ×2 to Elisha. So Elisha could have given up a long time ago. When you read the Bible, it's in 2 Kings. You read what Elisha went through, you'll be shocked. If it was you would have given up. If it was you that your kids were stressed out, you would have had
it. Most verses in the Bible. If it was me there, I'll be like, I can't.
You would have gone. So I
won't like to say, oh, I would have been. No, I'll be like, listen.
Yes, you would have given up. If you read Elisha's story, you would have given up. But the guy didn't.
That's Elisha's story. There's so many stories in the Bible that make you see how did they manage.
Yes.
How did you get on to be 103?
Dennis, your mic is off.
Yeah.
Dennis, your mic is off.
What can I say as well? I was going to say that it also comes back down to that scripture that says, walk by faith and not by sight.
100%.
I know, but what I'm saying, I have to be realistic and be a human being and say, if I was in their shoes, when I read that, I'm like, I don't know how they did it. Until when you walk through the path, you're like, I see why they did it. I don't know if that makes sense.
I can relate to what you're saying, Maria. Sometimes there's some stories that say, I don't know what I would have done if I was through that kind of a situation. But I do that because I speak from who I am and what I know about me, but not what I've experienced. Maybe if I actually go through the experience, it might be different. And I just wanted to just bring back with a scripture that is a bit more specific as well on that bit about putting us through experiences. In 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13, it says, no temptation has seized you except what is common to a man. It says, God is faithful. He will never let you go through. He will never let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. So he knows what you can bear. So he will not let you go through something that you cannot bear.
Yes.
But
it's all about tolerance. That's what God does. He raises the tolerance level as you go along. So you can tolerate this today. Next time you tolerate to, because all it is in heaven is about obedience. Do you know what I mean? When you go to heaven, it's all about obedience. Do you know what I mean? So we are tested on the planet. Even marriages, is a test of time. You don't take marriage to heaven. It's a test of time. God put us together to try and see how we can obey each other, our tolerance level, how to forgive each other. And then that's what it is. Sorry, now I had to jump in quickly.
No, that's fine. That's fine. A long story short, actually, I'll share, Maria, is that before when we met on that plane,
Mm-hmm.
before that, I hadn't been to Zambia since 2004. And the reasons was because I was a student then, and I used to do part-time jobs. So everything I had would just go to school. It would just go to school. So I never was able to afford to go to Zambia. But then when I applied to join the army after school, when this job came up, I was then in a place where the Home Office had kept my passport for a very long time. So it kept me for like 6 months. And I believed that, oh no, my passport is not going to take time because I'm joining it. So 3 months, my passport came.
Mm-hmm.
But the 6 months elapsed and I had to reapply again. So I reapplied, and it took literally another 6 months for it to come.
Wow.
But that time I was traveling to Zambia. My passport came that very day that I traveled. So I bought my ticket, I bought everything, and I packed that day. And you kept on saying, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. If he gave me the passport last time, he's definitely gonna come. Until the last minute, I'm not gonna give up. And that very morning, my passport came.
Wow.
I called my friend to bring it down to the airport. So I had all the reasons to be happy. And when we sat down in the plane, I was playing with Tyrese. That was me being a kid. And then
now it's true. Now it makes sense. It's like everything for you was just happiness. There was nothing that could have taken that joy away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Thomas is going to leave soon, so he would like to make his last comment. So we'll let Thomas talk, and then after us we can remain and kind of finish up, and then from there we sort of continue if you want to. So I'm just going to mute everybody, and then Thomas, if you can please.
Brilliant. So unfortunately, I have to leave. I've got to travel a long distance to my mom quickly. But before I do that, I think, like I said, what I know I like to share with everybody else. We recently prayed about something about seducing spirit of the world, okay, and how our young people especially get caught up in the traps of the devil without even knowing the devil is working that way. So I like to give a story in the Bible, so that we need to be really careful about how we deal with stuff, how people influence us. It's very dangerous. We can easily get into the trap. I want to use the story of Adam and Eve. Okay, now Adam and Eve knew God had told them not to eat that forbidden fruit. They knew it. So what the devil did is, the devil didn't go to Eve and said, "Hey man, come and eat it." He would have seduced him, convinced her. Sorry. So I would have thought this is the way he would have said. He said, "Hey Eve, come and have a look here. I know that God said don't eat, but you can have a look here. It's not a sin." You see, majority of the time in the world, we are told, I can only have one spliff. It won't be anything. It won't be a problem. I can only have that one drink, and it won't be any problem. You see, what Eve didn't know is, and we have a saying in our society, it says, the gateway to the soul is through the eye. I believe everyone has heard this before, that, when something enters your eye, it goes through your soul and you get corrupted. Okay.
Scary.
Yeah, it does, and I'm going to explain it in a bit. When you go watch that one pornography, trust me, that's the way the demons go inside your soul and they corrupt you. So that one porno could turn to two porno, and before you know it, you're watching porno every day and you're masturbating. And I'll put it that way. Okay, so that's just an example I'm giving. So what Eve would have done is, the devil told Eve, "Oh, you can look, because God said don't eat. You don't have to eat, but just have a look." So what Eve did was, she went to look at it and realized that fruit was the most beautiful fruit in the garden, and she couldn't resist it. So what had happened there was, she had looked at that thing, and her soul had been corrupted by the beauty of the apple. And so what happened was, because she looked at it, she was moved to the next level of having to taste the apple and then eating the apple. All right. So I think where I'm coming from is, as everybody on the platform and everyone is watching, we should be really careful what we get ourselves into. We should be really careful with the people around us. You know, the devil doesn't work. The devil never plays a bait of somebody you don't know. She always uses people around you, and that's why he uses Eve, because at the time, Adam has never experienced deceit before. And how could Adam experience deceit from the woman that he loved, that God had created for him? You see, so the whole idea there as well is people around you is what the devil are going to use against you. They're not going to use somebody you don't know. Obviously, you're most likely to say no to people you don't know. So they'll use people around you, your husbands, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriends, your kids, you know, your friends, your best friends, your mom and dad. These are the sort of people the devil uses. So you wouldn't think of it as anything. So Adam did not think of anything of Eve. Okay. When Eve brought the fruit, he just grabbed it and ate it because he didn't think Eve could do that. You see, so, and also I come down to our actions could affect people. So we should be careful how we do things. And I think that's my advice to everybody, that we need to stay away from.
We've literally had a Bible study class today.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but
It's amazing. I think for me, my life is based on the Bible. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, I agree. Yeah.
Most of, you know, Dennis knows me. I'm up 24/7 on trying to do something, organizing people, outreach on Facebook to join church. It's amazing. I enjoy it. It makes me peace. Do you know what I mean? So my advice is, let's be careful of the forbidden fruit. If a friend tells you, oh, you can only have one drink, please, that's the forbidden fruit. That's the idea that the devil uses to you. Once you drink it, and for the first time, you're most likely to drink on, and before you know it, you're an alcoholic. Dennis popped a question to me the other day and said, "Oh, I'm a businessman. When the clients come and they, you know, I take them out, I have to give them a glass of wine." And I said and he wanted to know if that's a sin. You see, that one glass may not be a sin, but what you have done is you may have contributed to the person being addicted to alcohol in the future without you knowing. Okay, so the idea is, don't give them alcohol at all. Just let them know you're a Christian. You don't deal with alcohol. Okay, so I think that's my advice to everybody.
Okay, I know you're gonna go quickly. Would you be able to answer this question by any chance?
Sorry, say it again.
Look at this question here.
Oh,
would you be able to answer that before you go?
The David topic, if we have time. So do you think God, being all-knowing, saw all this and allowed? Okay, so I've had this question before. Remember that we've been given the personal will to make choice. Okay, we have been from the get-go. Adam and Eve, they were given the chance to make their own choices. They decided that they would go through the devil and do that, and that's the repercussions of their actions is what we are feeling today. So when you say you're born through your mother, you're already a sinner when you're a baby. It's because of what Eve did. But the good thing is, Sarah, when you do something bad and it's against God, and he allows it for the David one, allow it to happen, you're always welcome to repent. This is why Jesus came. Jesus came to pave the way. He died for us so that we will know how to repent and become like him. And he paved the way for us to rekindle our relationship with God. So it's not like if it's bad, that's it. No, it's not. We have a way to repent. We have a way to pick up the cross as well, like Jesus did. Okay, the end times is near. He talks about it when you look into Acts. So Jesus and God are desperate to win as much people to be on his side, like he's always wanted to do. So yes, it's a personal will. Okay, we have our own will to make choices. All right, it's the same way we make choices with who we want to be with and who we don't want to be with. So I think that's the thing, that you know, God knows that we have our will, and he believes us to make our choices, basically.
Okay,
thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Okay, I hope we'll meet up on
we'll definitely meet up and continue this.
Brilliant. Nice knowing you all, and I thank you for everyone that's listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Apostle Thomas.
I'll see you in church tomorrow, Dennis. Don't go anywhere.
Tomorrow, man.
And I know you're gonna send me the live link.
Oh gosh.
You started it, so anyway, we're just gonna finish it off as well, and then, you know, I know you're saying it's turning to God and into, because I think sometimes I feel like it was meant to be this way.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You guys, Now I know personally, and you've met Noah through me and stuff.
Of
But
course,
knowing
yeah.
him privately, I know he's a devoted Christian. So I know this is fine. If it wasn't, trust me, I've said, guys, come on, ease off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I always like I say, this God could have made this to be whatever it was meant to be. Conversation
It definitely happened for a reason. I agree.
Exactly. We don't know how many people are watching and being blessed through our conversation. So sometimes things we may think, oh yes, we're talking about too much about God. This was meant to be about business, but everything happens for a reason.
Indeed.
So are you okay to continue, or because we only got a few questions? And what are some of the advice you've ever gotten, like in life?
The best advice. Well, can I go first now?
It could be personal, business. You're still moving. Your phone is upside down now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I can start. Yeah. I'll go for it. I'll be quite short actually on this. The best advice that I've had in my life is which still stands even up to now. I think I shared it last time. Is what my dad used to tell me, and I don't know whether he read it somewhere, but he used to say, "Bad friends are like stones; they are found everywhere. Good friends are like diamonds; they are rare to find, but once you find one, you have to keep them close to your heart." And every time, even when people I associate with, I always want to know who they are, what they do, and it all helps me know how to relate to them. And there are people that I know that even when I've got nothing, they were there for me, and I've always wanted to be that kind of a person to them. So that's the advice that always stands out for me.
And I think it's a perfect advice, which I'm glad that you continue to carry it on, and I hope you pass it on to your children as well, so that they know, like, when you find that one friend, trust me, you know, like, this one is a genuine friend. Someone you can talk to freely, someone who can be there with you in the mud and pick you up, or if they can't, they fall in the mud with you and play with, make you feel like it's okay, it's fun. That's the kind of friendship I want. You know what I mean? They can't pick you up, but they fall in the mud with you and say, it's a game.
But then who picks the other one out of the mud?
No, we start laughing, then isn't it? You just start laughing. And then eventually you pick each other up through the strength of laughing, and because sometimes I like you know me, I like to laugh. I like to laugh. I don't know why, but that's one of my things. I don't like to stress.
You know what? Now what you said is very true, because you know what? A few years ago, I used to always think friends was always about numbers, but I've now come to a place where I realized it's more about the quality, not about the numbers.
Yeah, not about
true.
Quality and not. I think the more when you grow up, the more you're growing up, the more you realize it's not just the numbers.
Yes, not just the numbers, because you have so many associates, but very few of them, will actually be there for you when you are in serious trouble. Very few, seriously.
And that's when you realize who your friends, and this is what they said, the diamond ones. The rare ones.
Exactly.
And those diamond ones are very, very rare, as you said.
Yeah, very rare.
You have to polish it and remind you. No, because sometimes we do have friends, but even us as people, we take them for granted.
It's true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We do take them for granted, and for me,
we need to always remind them how valuable they are to us in our lives.
And we still the dust to polish the dust. It's not, we're human beings, we're not perfect. You can argue here and there, not speak, but have you ever noticed that when you have those kind of friends, you may not speak for years or months, but when you talk, it's like you talk every day, or just like when you talk on the phone, it's like you've been speaking every day. You just catch up with the whole conversation, and that's the kind of friendship I love anyway.
Yeah.
I spoke to you for 1 week, but I feel like I was speaking to you yesterday. So I like those kind of friendship. And then so that's the advice. In 10 years, how would you describe
Right.
yourself in 10 years?
Can I answer my one in terms of the advice? So
you don't answer one. Sorry.
Yeah, so somebody well, James Khan actually told me with something. He told me that always observe the masses and do the opposite, because the masses usually always
Go one direction.
march together one direction, and often the path in the opposite direction leads to the greater opportunities.
That one I agree. It's like an example I'll give you. You see, like let's say you're going to stadium and then something happens and you run with a lot of people, you're either gonna fall and be trampled on. If you find your own getaway, you get home in time. Trust me, it works.
And you know what? Yeah, and for me, yeah, this reminded me of when I was in school, because I remember when I was in school. Yeah, the majority of people, like in my year, were following the girls, going out, bunking off school, and going out to chase girls. But the guys who stayed behind in school, are the guys who really made it in life. So the masses were following and were going and following the girls, but the boys who stayed in the classes and were following the books and the teachers, going the opposite direction, are the ones who actually really made it in life.
I get you. Okay, that's good.
Sure.
So for me, the best advice I'll say I've been given is observe the masses. Observe the masses and do the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, how would you describe yourself? Because I know I'm not a spring chicken.
Well, in 10 years' time, I'll be 44 years old. Bloody heck.
Okay, don't make me too old, okay?
That's an old age, man. Well, for me personally, in 10 years' time, I want to be happily married and comfortable financially. I want to be, living a very family-orientated life.
Okay. That's a fair.
Business-wise, in terms of business-wise, I'd want my businesses to be in the position where they're being run for me on my behalf, where I'm basically the group CEO, and I've got CEOs underneath me running my business for me. That's where I'd want to be in the next 10 years' time. I do not want to be hands-on in 10 years' time.
True. Now what?
Yeah, in 10 years' time, I want to be very happy. I want to be very happy. And there's some projects as well that I'm sort of working on back in Zambia. And hopefully, with this period of time from now, within 10 years old, they'll be complete by then. Yeah, hopefully, it's just being happy and with a happy family. And
I guess the most important thing in life is happiness and love.
Yeah. And just having that life that people can look up to and say, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Be that influence on others.
Do you know what? I really want to be in a position where I'm living a stress-free life and a worry-free life, I'll say, honestly. I'm just living a happy life where I'm genuinely happy and the people around me are happy.
But don't you think that can be done now? What makes you think like now? Why can't you not do that now?
Well, it could be done now. Yes, it could be done now. Yes. But in terms of me living a happy family life when we're married, I'm not married yet.
Yeah, no, you're not married yet, but living a stress-free life, I think that's something you can start. You can start anytime.
The thing is, with
decision you can make.
Maria, with this stress-free life, at the moment, I'm still in startup mode where I'm building businesses. So I've still got a lot of grafting to do. I still have to do a lot of work before I get to that stage where I can say that I'm going to be comfortable and stress-free. Because no matter what I tell myself, for the next 5 years or so, I'm going to be very busy building my businesses.
I see.
So what I would say though on that part is it's good to identify what makes you feel stressed. And if you know what makes you feel stressed, then you can know how to handle, because you can build business and be stress free. Mm-hmm. Because stress is what kind of really makes you uncomfortable.
Do you know what? Now, what you said, that's actually very true. Because one way is probably avoiding crappy clients.
Yeah.
Just clients. even people around you.
Yeah, even your surroundings. Yeah, even your
For
surroundings.
me, I feel like it's the people we choose. Like if I see a friend of mine is stressing me, always I would tell say, look, you stress me all the time.
Like, you know what? I'm not being funny here, but for me now personally, anybody who's stressing me out my life, you're blocked. Bye bye. You're gone. Seriously.
Okay.
That is true. Do you know what? Life is too short to be getting stressed out. So for me,
I
anybody I
think
feel,
literally means that actually literally.
huh?
I can tell that I can tell if you stress me out of my life.
Too much
Do you know what? Listen, it's only one click. Blocked. It's only one click.
Good, Dennis is like, listen, I've got too much going on already. I don't need
No,
I don't need this in my life.
too much. Like seriously, life is way too short to be getting stressed out, man. Seriously,
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
life is way too short. So for me personally, anybody in my life who's stressing me out, you're gone. Bye bye. Bye, Felicia. Simple.
Yeah.
He's going to give me the Google giggles and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what did you on stress? How do you? I know I'm gonna touch. Please do forgive me if I answer wrong. You away from home with it's something that often because part of your job.
Yeah.
How do you manage it all then? So, like you had said before, you miss playing with the kids, and I know you're a big baby. You like being a kid, and that's one thing I love about you. You remind me of myself. I got this inner child in me that never goes away.
Yeah.
So how do you manage in that? How do you manage to cope to make you still feel like you're here, but you're not here?
Yeah, it's I have I look beyond now.
Uh-huh.
I usually say that the darkest time of the night is usually before the break of dawn. So hold on. So I always look at the hope that is there. At the end of this, what am I going to get? And
Okay.
can I endure this? Can this stress me now? Or can I be happy with what's going on now because I'm going to be even happier at the end. So I always look at the end of this, I'm going to be with this kids. I'm going to be playing. I'll be happy. So I can go through this no matter what. So I keep a smile. People always ask me in work. It says, you're always smiling. Why are you always smiling? I was like, why shouldn't I smile? That's usually my question back. It says, why shouldn't I smile? I'm breathing. I've got a life. I've got kids. I've got a job. I've got everything. There's people
And you
out
know
there
what? That's one thing
that
we
don't
always
even
forget.
have this.
That's one thing
Yeah.
we always forget. You're breathing. You got food on your table.
Exactly.
I mean, just last year alone, so many people lost lives from COVID-19.
Let's not talk about just last year. Let's talk about in the last hour.
Exactly.
In the last hour. I mean, when you look at the figures here, there are thousands of people right now in the hospital beds, not knowing if they're going to come out alive or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, you see how blessed you are.
Yeah.
And you have all the reasons to be happy, and all the negative parts, they're just
But
there.
do you know what? Now, I think as human beings, we tend to focus on what we do not have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if we focus on the things that we have,
because for you now, you're very jovial. You're very, you're a family-oriented man. You're that person. So to hear you say that, it's actually, I'm hoping people listen. That's really a very positive and uplifting way of thinking, when I finish this, what am I going to see? That job you have, that keeps you going. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think if people could think like that, a lot of people won't stress.
Yeah.
Because what the outcome is coming.
Yeah, exactly. So all these many things that you go through that could possibly stress you, they become sort of meaningless because of what you're going to have, and they are just things that keep you going.
It's true, yeah. But like you say, we don't realize it we don't appreciate. We always think of the little negatives.
Yeah.
And when people just have to smile along the way. It's not easy sometimes, but it just have to be done, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, true. I'll give you one of the things that we did over on Boxing Day. Here we had a competition. It's called the at a CrossFit competition, CrossFit games, and they're quite hard. And you're doing all these exercises. It's a team of guys, and you're doing all these exercises, and you keep doing them for a longer period of time, and they kind of really tire your body out. And at some point, doing them, I wanted to give up. Some people gave up and things like that. But then I thought, you know what? This is not going to go on for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If I can just do this until the end, that just gave me the motivation. Just keep going. I kept going, and at the end, what I did is I just lied on the floor, and people thought I was this guy is really, really tired. But it's just that blissful moment. I was like, this is all that is done.
I did it. We did it without just having that. It's just for now.
Yeah.
It's part of for the day, and we're doing it as a group. You know, it's important. No, I like that. So, if you could go back in time, what one piece of advice would you give your younger self? Things you could have done differently.
Right. So for me, I think I answered this question previously. I would have become more focused from a younger age. I feel that when I was younger, my attention was all over the place, to be honest with you. I feel now I'm so much more focused in life. So I think if I could go back 15 years ago, I would definitely tell myself to be more focused in life and identify what I enjoy doing and start at an earlier age. Because I honestly feel that I'm getting old. I mean, as much as everybody tells me that I'm not old, I honestly feel that I'm getting old.
You feel like you're getting old, you're not getting old.
Well, I feel that I am old.
Define old. What does definition of old to you mean?
I think he said he feels he's getting old. He's not getting younger. I think that's what he said.
Do you feel? Do you feel like you're getting old because of the stroke, or do you feel you're just getting old?
No. Away from the stroke. I mean, if I could go back to my younger self, I would tell my younger self to start doing what I'm doing now. Then.
Okay.
I basically, because I've seen a lot of people who started businesses when they were like 21 years old. But I obviously started businesses when I was like 28 years old. So if I could go back in time, I would have started my businesses much earlier than now.
Okay. You'd have been more focused then. What about you now? What's one advice would you give yourself, younger self?
Is it just one or two?
One. It could be many.
It's something similar to what Dennis is saying. I would say more of start investing more in what things you love doing, because I have a passion for property, and then I've got a family, and if I'm getting money out, I need to sort of calculate who's going to suffer, who's going to this and that, or what is it going to affect. Back then, I didn't have that problem. But if I started investing then, I think it would have been a different story now. But still, at the same time, investing in things I love doing, seeing things like voiceovers. It took a while for me to even start doing voiceovers. I used to do all these things, but I'm like, I would maybe, yeah, but I never really took it seriously. Like it would. I would create a video and I'll just post it, and a lot of people would say, "Hey, you're sitting on money. Why don't you do this?" I didn't ever kind of take it seriously. I just kept on doing because it's something I enjoyed doing. But if I invested more into that and use it as something that can actually better my life, I would have started it then. It's doing now. It's doing it now. But if I
totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, things are doable now, but I honestly wish that I did a lot of things I've been during my younger ages.
Yeah. That's very.
But don't get me wrong though. But don't get me wrong though. A lot of things are doable even now.
Oh yeah.
It's never too late.
Just
things can be still done
now. Coming back, please. I'll continue. I'm coming back.
Okay. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
It's never too late. I mean, you see people who go back to university when they're 60 years old.
Yeah.
So it's never too late.
Yeah, but I sometimes look at it on a positive side of as well. Is that in that period that I've grown to get to this point, there are things that I have learned from the
I totally agree. Yeah.
So if I started then, would I have learned those lessons that are helping me do it now?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, probably not.
So on a more positive side, I look at it as God sometimes lets you go through something so you can learn.
Yeah. So basically, during that waiting period, you've learned a lot.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Sorry, the kids were.
Yeah. Sorry. So Maria, we were saying that even though we wish we did things when we were younger, during the waiting period, there's a lot of things we learned during that period, and if we started doing things earlier, would we have learned what we know now?
I'm glad you've actually said that, because I was going to ask that question. To say everything, I think, has its reason.
Yeah,
true.
You had to go through that pathway to be now, so to help you work hard and appreciate it now.
Yeah.
Like how you've said, even for me, when you and me in the same market of investment of the properties, I want to do that from a long time ago. But now I said, would I have managed then? I would have done it now.
That's true. I mean, as much as I'm saying that, Maria, as much as I'm saying that I wish I started my recruitment company when I was 21 years old, the things would I have been mature enough? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not.
That's a different. Yeah.
So, like you know, I will have a guest who will talk about properties this year. If I could have them earlier, I'll try. But if you need help, I'm here to help you. Because that's forte now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my thing now. Because now I'm grown, I'm mature now. No, but that's.
But you know what? So it really makes me think that everything is made perfect in the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the right time. Because it's allowed you to see what people have done, the mistake they've made, how you can learn from them. And now there's so much information as well to research into.
Yeah.
If we were that 21, come on. There was no really much on the internet, even the Google, there wasn't much there.
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
That was it. You had nothing to Google to get that information. I remember when I was that age, when I wanted to do, I was 15.
And do you know what? Yeah, on the bright side, we do also get a second chance, because we can teach our kids what we did not do. Because for me now,
that's the best way.
Yeah, that's what we can do now. So we do have a second chance. We can teach our children what we did not do.
No, and I think
for me now,
like what you didn't do, it's how to do it right. I think it's how to do it right.
Yeah.
So like you said now, you want to go into property investment. You know now, like if I do this, you teach your kids. By you're going to be 21, you should have had these things now as well. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you have these things because now I know how to do it. So you've got those ways to calculate. My kids at this age, by the time they're 18, they should have this. By the time they're 21, they should have that.
Yeah.
You're teaching them now.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't go through that journey, you won't have enough information to educate your kids as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my thing.
So in a way, that journey has given you that wisdom as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You pass down to your kids.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So we've gone through all the questions today. So is there anything now? I want you, Dennis, you'll come back in a minute because you people have known you a little bit. So now I've just put government officials, but I want you to tell people who you really are. Because I know, like I said, I get the privilege of, of having to hear your voice, and I'm like, oh my God, only if I could sing like that. I can sing. I see you dancing. I'm like, oh my God, this guy can dance, man. You know, I hear you do your voiceover. I'm like, what the hell? He's like jack of all trades. There's nothing that you can do.
No, there's a lot of things I can't do.
That you can do. No. Trust me. You are so blessed in so many ways. I think you, if you're one of those people in school who was like, if you're given an equation, you pretend you don't know, but I know the next day you come and be like, Miss is done. It's like, what? How did you do it? No, seriously. That person, he will go out there and see if he can do it, and if he can't, he'll still find a way to do it.
It sounds like you sound like my boss.
No, but seriously, but I see that because I'm like, you're one of those. You can't. There's nothing you can do. Because I know I've deliberately asked you to do something, and I wonder what they will say. You always come back with like, give me 5 minutes. And in that, I'm like, okay, this guy. But sometimes I ask you, then I'm like, okay, let me see if this other person can do it. But do you know that you always say, let me see what I can do. And I'm thinking, let me see. The other person will come back and say, oh, it can't be done. And I'm like, not now. Now I'll come back and I say I can do it. And you always come back like that. I'm like, damn, that's good. No, seriously.
That's it's good to know that the skills can be appreciated that way. Now to talk about who I am, it's a very difficult question to answer. But is it in terms of things I can do, or I'm not kind of a person that wants to try different things, and all through my life I tried different things, and my sort of principle is everything I do, if I'm going to learn it, I'll do my best to learn and be able to do it the best way I can. And I think that has helped me a lot. If I've got into say for example piano playing, I wanted to learn how to play piano, but I had to learn it the way I know best. Where if I want to write a song, I need to be able to write a song and be able to play it on piano. With voiceovers, I've listened to a lot of people, and the thing is, what I do is I learn from people a lot. I listen to people a lot, and I always believe I can learn something from someone. Like even over this conversation, I've learned a lot, and the good thing is I keep things and see how I can apply them to my life. That's the kind of person I am. So all these things that you've written down: voiceover, singer, dancer, MC editing. Yeah, somebody asked me, we needed an MC, for example. We need an MC, and they were struggling to find an MC. So I've watched MCs before, and I've seen what they do, and I've done my share of MCing alone, and so I said, no, I can do it.
Come off the MC part. Do you remember this last year Independence? We had planned you're gonna be my MC.
Oh yeah, I was meant to be MC there. Yeah,
MCing the Independence gone.
Yeah, that's true. I think sometimes people, when they see me, they don't really see the person I am. Like when you talk about MCing, people say, "Oh, can you actually MC?" I said, "Tell me, give me what you want me to do, and I'll do it." So I MC'd a wedding in Scotland, and people were so happy. They started sharing, and then I was called to do an MC again, to be an MC in London. So I've done a few MC jobs, and it's because I sort of put myself in learning something. IT. I've done computer science. That's my training. That's what I did with the University of Metropolitan University, and so I apply those skills in the job that I do. Music production. One time we're doing a song, we're doing an album with a group I sing with, and we struggled to find an engineer, and we got an engineer, and he did really do a very good job. So I looked at that. I was like, no, I'm going to learn how to be a sound engineer, so we don't ever have to go through this again. So that's how I started getting myself to learn how to do it, and now I can produce music. I can mix music. Songwriting is the same.
So now, can I say that? Now, can I say now that I feel that your passion is really entertainment.
Yes, I'm sort of an entertainer, but when people ask me, "Are you an entertainer?" I say no.
I mean, you are. I mean, if you're a voiceover artist, you're a singer, you're a dancer, you are an entertainer.
I tend to like doing things in the background. So coming out in the open is not really. I do come out in the open.
Okay, it takes time to come out.
But in the background, mostly, yeah. That's why the voiceover thing is a background thing. But if I'm told to come out in the open, I do it, and I'll do it openly. In a nutshell, that is me. I don't know what else I can say about me, but
yeah. So if people have to reach you, where would they find you in terms of your contacts?
Oh, they can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I've got Twitter as well. I'm rarely on Twitter, but I've got Twitter as well. So my Facebook is Namsikute.
So that's NAM
S, and then Sikute is SIKUTE.
Nams, yeah, first SIKU.
TE. Sikute. Yeah.
That's Facebook or
That's Facebook.
okay.
And Instagram is just recently changed it to the same as my YouTube. Is Daddy Cooks.
I thought I saw that. I took time to find you. You know.
Yeah. So it's Daddy Cooks, and the reason for Daddy Cooks is I love cooking, and I usually like doing it with the kids. So I said Daddy Cooks.
So Daddy, hold on, I'm just trying to type so I can share with everybody.
My friend, you are literally a jack of all trades.
Is it Daddy
DADDY COOKS.
Okay, Daddy Cooks, just like that.
Daddy Cooks, yeah.
And that's your Instagram, yeah?
For Instagram, same as YouTube.
Instagram and YouTube, okay. Any number they can call you on?
Yeah. I think if they contact me on Facebook and Instagram, that should be good.
So I'll share that now. Have I shared the right information?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So this is where you can find now. This guy, trust me, I'm not saying it because he's here. He knows me. You know, he's super talented, and his time management, he's professional. He's what you see is what you get. He's a humble, down to earth guy. He does a lot of things for me, and I'm always. I think the last other thing you did for me. What was the last thing you did for me? That was the Queen thing with where I was like the Queen. I don't know if I posted a picture on Facebook where I was like the Queen of Egypt or something. He did that for me. And everyone was like, wow, I know, trust me. This guy is amazing. He does anything. He can put you any place you ask him to put you in terms of editing. He's that good. Singing, he can sing very well. He can do everything. He's our own Zambian. So for any Zambians in the UK, if you're looking for voiceover, you're looking for music, you're looking for singers, a dancer, editing, producing, this is your guy. Support him. Let's support one another. So to reach him here. I remember last year on my birthday, he surprised me with a singing of a happy birthday. It was the best gift. No, seriously. He can sing. Like, you know, when you receive so many little, notes and whatever, voice note, and you get here. I had to reply, say, who is this? I had to look at his name to see who sent the video. I thought it was Chris Brown or boy, and I was like, no,
that good.
No, he's that good, seriously. So anybody, please reach out to Nawa. He's that amazing. Okay. So and I'm saying it, let's support one another. Like Thomas had said previously, the Jewish people tend to use each other to empower each other. I'm not saying you can't go anywhere else, but let's try to utilize the people we know and the people we have. Even like now, I've learned to start buying things from my own people, so to help and support them, so that we can grow and develop together. In the past, it's something I sort of wanted to whatever, but I've realized once I'm at that top, I need to learn to throw the rope so that people can climb and reach my level too. You understand? Because before it was more like I'm trying to climb and you're pulling me down. Then I say to I tell my people, my friends, say, if you do that, how do we progress? If you see me doing well, push me to get there. When I get there, I will throw you the rope. It will be easy for you because I've already gone there, you know. But everyone sees from different angles. So now I can't thank you enough. So stay there before we go. The next person is Dennis. Guys, you know who Dennis is. Dennis is my cousin. He's actually my little brother. If I call him cousin, I'm used to call him cousin, but it's my little brother. You know, he's the start of Business Chat with Maria. And when I say this, people might think, oh, Maria, he was the backbone behind it all. He pushed me. He said, let's do it this way. Every day, even this event today, he's the one who reminded me. When have you done? Have you sent the question? Have you done this? Have you done that? He's always doing that. In the background, he's always posting, sharing things for me, you know, following, telling me, edit this you've done wrong, write this properly. He's the person. So Dennis, as you can see, please reintroduce yourself to the audience. How can they reach out to you? Because people should know that they have someone who can inspire them, motivate them, and empower them. And you're one of those people. And you do it with one heart with no conditions. But if people see perspective,
thank you, Maria. So for me personally, I genuinely have a passion to help people grow. I mean, even in my recruitment space, I genuinely enjoy helping businesses grow. I mean, I find talent for businesses, and I genuinely enjoy seeing them grow. So my passion is really empowering people and developing people, and helping them to identify their talents within themselves that they cannot even see for themselves. So yeah, all in all, I'm really just a recruiter. Well, I've been in the recruitment space for the past 11 years, and obviously I'm now a businessman, as well as being a youth advocate as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much really for me.
Yeah, no, seriously. So thank you, guys, for honoring to be here today. I know some of the guests were not on, but I think we've made it happen. And I've learned so much about the Bible. I know,
Bible study class, right?
I am a Christian, you know, I do my part. But you know, when you get to keep those Bible verses you like, the ones that are common ones.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
The common ones, the Delilah, the Samson, the Kings, the whatever. That's me. But when it comes to, today, hearing you guys so passionate and talking about those verses, like it makes you, I don't know, think and reflect on life. And I know Dennis has said it becomes a Bible study, and I think it was meant to be that way.
Yeah, it was meant to be. It was definitely meant to be. I mean, I can guarantee you, somebody out there had something that they did not know before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
It's meant to start that way, so that now we can just end on a, like, oh wow, that was good. So it's not only me who's, you know, there's other Christians there, because I know people, you know, it's wrong, but you know,
I mean, obviously, Marie, you obviously know on my side, I'm a fully dedicated Christian in terms of I pray 8 times a day, 100% dedicated on my side.
Oh yeah, you are, you know, he's
and you know, and you know what? Yeah, can I take you?
He's like, I'm like, wow, okay. Sometimes you text me at 1 a.m. I'm like, cuz I'm sleeping, man. Seriously. No, seriously. Or he could be texting me at that time, but it could be I'm reading about something.
Yeah.
I read at night to get knowledge and information. So then I'll see he would text say go to sleep. I'm like, I want sleep. I'm reading. Then he'll be like, I'm doing this. I'm like, wow, how many times? So he sent me his timetable, and if you can wake up at this time, I'm like, cuz. Let's be
But
real.
you know what but you know what the funny thing is? Everything happens for a reason. Because if I never had the stroke, believe me, I would have never known God. That's honestly, if I never had the stroke, I would have never known God.
You knew God, but
Well, I knew God, but I was not committed like the way I am now.
Exactly. So you knew God, but it's just like you're not like you are now. So
It was just that commitment.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So is there anything you'd like to say before we go? I personally want to say thank you for coming.
I also want to say thank you very much to you, Marie, for hosting us as well.
Yeah. Seriously, I enjoyed every minute spending time with you. I've learned a lot. I am always up for learning. So now I know I'll keep on repeating myself, and you're gonna hate me for this. But Zambians in the UK, Zambian in the diaspora, Zambian wherever you are, if you are looking for people with talent, Nawa, trust me, he does a lot. It's no joke. He's humble the way you see him. That's how humble he is. He's that humble. He's humble. No, seriously. You are what you see is what you get. But he's very tall. Don't let him fool you. This guy is tall.
What, Marie, he's taller than me.
Oh, way taller than
me. Is he taller than me?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's taller than me.
I would have never imagined.
Yeah, you're very tall now. How tall are you?
I'm 6'2.5".
What are you, Dennis?
Oh, yeah, you are tall, mate. You're very tall.
No. He's very tall. When you stand to him, I actually go like, hi. When he told me he was a soldier, I remember my face like, you're definitely a soldier. Gosh. He's tall. You know. So thank you so much to everybody. There's so many people watching.
Marie, as I said, I want to thank you as well, because you always dedicate your time to host us as well. So a big thank you to you.
No, thank you. No, thank you to you as well. I'm grateful. Thank you for being my guest, for sparing your time. Now I know you're away, from home. But for me, I feel like this is us having like a chat and keeping you company as well, in a way. For me, anyway, I feel like I'm keeping you company, knowing that is the way. This is another way, just keeping you company and us chatting.
Of course, yeah.
I'm really truly honored that you spared the time to have this chat with me. You could have.
I just want to thank you. Thank you for inviting me, for giving me the opportunity as well to share what I know, and knowledge-wise. I've learned a lot from Dennis. And in fact, if Dennis, you don't mind, I would like to get your number from your contact from.
Of course.
Maria. Yeah, I wanted to ask Thomas as well, but he then.
No, I'll share those numbers. We are a group now. We are a network.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's the whole purpose of the business chat with Maria is to network.
Yeah.
Us to come together to share and bounce off ideas.
Yeah. I know, like in this age that we live in, people become so sensitive about sharing information. So,
No. With Dennis and Thomas, they're cool. The other people are definitely us, but everyone who comes on my show, I tell them the whole purpose of this.
Yeah.
Is to network, for us to, like Omega said, throw the rope, let someone climb the rope too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just about you being at the top by yourself. Throw it down and let people up.
Yeah.
And in this COVID-19, so many people are going through a rough patch, doing different, this is what we're here for. To think outside the box.
Plus, second thing is absolutely freezing as well. It's so cold. Oh my gosh.
How cold is it in where you are?
It's negative.
What is it, -2? I think.
It's negative 13 over here.
That's quite warm, man. Where are you, by the way? Where are you?
Estonia.
Estonia,
yeah.
Is Estonia near Poland? Where is that? Sorry, my geography is really bad.
It's next to Russia.
Next to Russia? Oh, right. Okay. So it is near Poland, yeah. Okay.
Then you're cold.
Yeah. Poland is like three countries from here coming towards UK.
Mm.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So
Know, thank you.
when do you come back to the UK?
In March.
He's coming back on my birthday. Don't worry, he's coming back on my birthday.
We're back. I'll go back on the 11th.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you Google that? Did you Google that? Did you Google that? Did you say that?
No.
You get it. You didn't get it the first time, so you must have checked.
No, I just asked you what is your birthday.
I didn't tell you the day.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you went and Googled it to find out the day. So good. It's kind of my birthday.
Have you put it on Google?
Maria, there's no way your birthday's on Google, man. There's no way. Your birthday's not on Google.
Queen, man. Come on. No, seriously. Jokes aside, thank you so much. It's truly an honor and a privilege. You're most welcome to join my Zoom party. So after this, I'm going to a Zoom party, a birthday Zoom party.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm the host of the party.
The party never ends, hey?
It never ends.
The party never ends.
Life goes on. You know, life goes on. No, seriously. So you're most welcome. If you're free anytime, I'll send you the links. Join and let's have fun. I'm hosting. I'm a late host, but I'm hosting. Yeah, no, so serious. Thank you so much.
Do you know, Maria, can I ask you a question here? How do you find Zoom parties compared to, face-to-face parties? Because obviously there's obviously a difference. How do you find the Zoom
I like
parties
music.
compared to...
The music is playing, I'm okay. It's the music.
But do you find that the interaction is quite similar or different?
It depends who you're doing the Zoom party with. If you're doing with your friend, the one you talk to every day, it's like you're physically next to each other. The way this is happening right now, this is like we're in the same room chatting. So imagine
you know what the funny thing is, yeah? The funny thing is that before the whole lockdown, COVID-19, I'd actually never heard of Zoom, I'd never heard of Zoom.
Oh, really?
No,
I only heard about Zoom last year, March. That was the first time I'd ever heard of Zoom.
Oh, wow.
No, but like I said, everything happens for reason. Everything has its own time, isn't it? With none of us at Facebook, we had High Five before MySpace. Everything evolves, and that's the power.
High Five, wow.
It evolves and it goes, it comes around.
Yeah. Do you know what? Is High Five even still around?
It is around for the younger generation.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now there's TikTok and everything, so
Yeah, there's always something new.
And apparently there's also a new one called Clubhouse.
Sorry?
Yeah. There's also a new one called Clubhouse.
New what? Clubhouse.
There's a new one. Yeah, a new one called Clubhouse. Clubhouse.
The Clubhouse.
Well, I only found out about it 2 days ago. It's called Clubhouse.
What is it now?
It's sort of similar to, but it's more of an invitational kind of software, similar to Zoom, but not really like that. That's the one that got quite a few youngsters in trouble during lockdown in the UK.
Okay, no,
I've heard about it. I haven't used it.
No, it's like TikTok. I've signed up on TikTok, but I haven't used it because I don't know how to use it. Or or what's the other one? The yellow one. I don't know what's called. Snapchat. I've signed up, but I don't know how to use it. If that makes sense, because I'm all scared. What if I make a mistake and my photo goes there and I can't take it back? So.
A lot of youngsters are the ones that.
Can I add something in there, please? I've just seen this message from Sarah Cisse, who's saying her cleaning service. I would really advise her to approach estate agents.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Really, honestly, because don't forget, you always have tenants moving out and moving in. So a lot of estate agents always need cleaners.
That is very true. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so if you want to, guys, so let me know. If you want to join the Zoom party, let me know. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank
all
you.
My guests, today there were so many guests that if I go through the list, but every single guest who's watching, who's watched, who's come on.
Has everyone gone?
Everyone is gone now, so I'm grateful. But there were so many guests who the names.
Yeah, it was really wow. 3 hours. Wow.
Yeah. Really?
3 hours.
Yeah, literally 3 hours.
Well,
We're just under 3 hours.
That is going so quick, isn't it?
Wow. Okay.
But you know what I realized, Marie? Do you know what I realized? With these shows, yeah, they never ever. They always go over the 1 hour. Literally, they always go over the 1 hour.
Once I think before it starts, you assume it to be that, but once it starts, it's the enjoyment.
I think we all get carried away in a way.
Yeah, but I think
we all get carried away.
Be in a way. So for me, like during this COVID, I really don't mind because then at least I know my mind is focusing on something positive than thinking negative.
Yeah, but honestly, 1 hour is not enough. 1 hour is really not enough.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm realizing now.
Yeah, so no, thank you, serious. Thank you, guys. Is there anything you want to say before you leave?
Oh, thank you.
I think I've said everything. Right, thank you, guys. Have a good evening, guys.
Yes.
Bye. Right, I'm gonna eat now. So bye, guys.
So all right, bye. This is where you then place a show.
Yeah.
So it's an introduction, but it's an outro. Outro where it's
Sean is like, I'm watching here. Sean, we're not gonna stay here for you now. It's been 3 hours. So thank you for watching. Seriously, thank you for watching and for always supporting as well. I know you're always in the background supporting me as well, so I'm really grateful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Seriously, thank you. We finally done it.
Indeed.
Each time we try to do it, everything just goes pear-shaped. But I see God's time is always the perfect time.
Indeed.
God is on time, and I've learned a lot about you told me, oh my God, I know where to go for my Bible quotes.
There was there. You can always ask if you need. Don't
worry, I've got this. Speed down. Quickly, I'm in trouble. No, serious. Thank you, seriously. Yeah, and I pray that 2020 you really bring yourself out there, because you're talented, you're gifted, you got so many gifts. It's not many people that can have that gift. Seriously, you're talented, you can dance, sing, everything. I try to dance. Thank you so much. So enjoy it.
It's been a wonderful show. Thank you.
Oh, I've had fun. Yeah. I'm gonna have to explain why I'm late to hosting the birthday party now.
Maybe some of the guests there were here.
Ah, true. Then I'm like, you saw I was busy.
You can use that.
Thank you. If you want to join, let me know, and I will send you the link as well.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.